The group stage is done and dusted. We're moving on to the brackets, folks. Today and tomorrow, it is do or die for any team you see on your screen. Win your match, which is now a best of 5 instead of best of 3, or first to 3 if you prefer that wording of it. And it's now myself and LaFawn for this day. Billy's over on the other stream today. LaFawn, good to have you here, bud.
I would prefer an introduction that Billy just radically changed his style up. You know, that would have been a pretty interesting one to take from day to day.
Yeah, but that also would have been a lie. So
yeah, but it would have been funny. Anyway, let's talk about the games themselves because that's more important than our looks. Like talking about this, of course, right? We had that group stage performance into now bracket play, but I mean, it's been an exciting and I think jam-packed, eventful journey to this point as early as we are into it.
It has. It's been a very fun kind of whirlwind, right? We have been moving all around, all over the place. We've been seeing so many teams, not just here on like this stream, but also on the other stream. Also, we've been seeing, I think, 12 plus teams each day. I mean, it's just been so many amazing teams coming out of North Carolina. So much wonderful high school talent here at VESL for the Overwatch tournament. And it's so exciting to see who's going to move on, not just today to tomorrow, but also who wins their bracket and moves on to the regional LAN in January.
That's an exciting prize to play for, right? Getting an opportunity to play on location is always a huge deal. So, I mean, these teams definitely going to give it their all as we get into the action today. And I mean, it really is just right into the thick of things. We've already underway as the first elimination has come through, a couple of them on top of it all. And Hopewell off to a pretty good start here against Mallard Creek.
We're wasting no time. Hopewell and Mallard Creek, very excited to get into this one. Very different compositions that we're seeing as well. I mean, we've got the Sigma and the Bastion for Mallard Creek. It does seem that they did lose that first foray. And meanwhile, we've got a Doomfist. LaFawn, you haven't been here, but yeah, we've seen some nasty Doomfist. Every time a player has pulled out a Doomfist here at VESL, they have absolutely dominated to some degree, and it's good to see Golden Eagle keeping that trend.
I mean, we're 30% into the round, and Golden Eagle's already a third of the way to the second Meteor Strike in play, right? That is a ton of damage coming from the tank, and not done yet. All the way up to the spawn door. Mallard Creek can't even exit the gates of the ship to get into the thick of things. So Hopewell, I mean, well on their way here on round number 1.
I mean, they're playing so aggressively, too. A little bit too aggressively, turns out. Chicken Lord gonna find that out the hard way. Hopewell now gonna be, well, mostly respectful. Not so much for Golden Eagle. He's ready to keep it dicey right up in their face, and that actually gives space for the resurrection, too. Hopewell holding onto this tooth and nail.
And with that, I mean, Mallard Creek not even an opportunity to, you know, use resources as they kind of generate up to the sound barrier, but not in time. And Mallard Creek, I mean, they're already looking at Final Fight territory, right?
Definitely a tough start for Mallard Creek currently, but at least they do have a sound barrier, Valkyrie, Gravitic Flux all coming up. Those do give opportunities. I'd like to see a sound barrier just so that they can get past this choke, honestly, especially if Bob or Kitsune Rush is used.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem here for Mallard Creek is no matter what they use, they kind of have responses. You're really looking at the sound barriers being a big deal, but no, actually, that's canceled. That was Golden Eagle shutting it down, that punch in time, and now I don't know that Mallard Creek even gets the objective.
I think we've had a sound barrier cancel once each day here at VESL. That's tough. All right, at least we're getting it out of the way early. Thank you, Plum Ghost, for falling on your sword so that we don't have to deal with that later on today. But man, what a dominant round from Hopewell, 100-0. Mallard Creek hardly got to see the point.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Golden Eagle specifically, right? On that one, the Doom is taking space so tremendously effectively, and unfortunately for Mallard Creek, you really, I mean, you got to feel for them, right? The Doomfist, the one thing that Golden Eagle is doing such a great job of making this a possibility is using the power block in front of the turret form of the Bastion, right? So it kind of negates twofold. And in fact, it makes the Doomfist much more strong, and it also eliminates the big rotation of cooldowns that Mallard Creek are kind of playing around. So Hopewell, I mean, off to just a smashing start here in round number 1.
Mallard Creek, a little bit of an adjustment here. Mazah Fade seems to be swapping over to the Diva. It does give the opportunity to defense matrix some of those hit scans. Joe and Chicken Lord both playing, hit scans where Diva can at least counteract some of what they're doing. It does make it difficult to keep Golden Eagle in check. Yeah, I mean, with the Sigma, at least you get the accretion potentially, right? But on the Diva, you're really just looking for damage. Oh, the boop! Plum Ghost sending Golden Eagle off the side. I mean, that's one way to counter a Doomfist, I guess.
Yeah. You can see the good-natured ribbing from Golden Eagle at the end of that, perhaps missing the punch and the sound wave.
These guys have been having a lot of fun this week. That's another thing I love about this league here at VESL, is that when silly things or ridiculous things happen, a lot of these guys are able to just sort of laugh it off and go, well, okay, get them next time.
I mean, Golden Eagle gets the revenge awful quick, right? Plum Ghost immediately caught out, and I feel like Mallard Creek going to give this one up pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, at least they get about 20-some% here, thanks to that boop from Plum Ghost. But yeah, a very quick recontest from Hopewell. Even with Golden Eagle getting found early on in that fight, Doomfist gets back to the point pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, even with Golden Eagle, you know, being the one taken down, still the furthest ahead in the lobby in terms of ult charge. So,
wait, that's insane. Oh man. Oh, and already a D-Mech on the Zoth Fade too. That's tough. That's gonna stall this push out for a long time from Mallard Creek.
Meteor Strike actually doesn't get anything this time around, but I think that might have been enough. Yup, there it is.
He jabbed the salve over the
map.
Oh, brutal. Absolutely no mercy being shown by Hopewell right now. You gotta love a team that plays this confidently.
I have to disagree with you. There is a mercy on Hopewell's side. But we'll go again next time.
No, not right now. Oh, wait. Oh, my. Oh.
I can't believe you let yourself open up for that one. Mallard Creek.
I thought you meant Mercy the character, and I was like, no, not for Hope. No, Mercy the Kiriko.
Hopewell, I mean, continue holding the gate. Speaking of Kiriko, though, upside Kitsune Rush, and I mean, one thing is, you're going to combo Kitsune Rush with Tactical Visor. What a combo that would be. I think you're even forcing last fight territory at the tail end of it as Mallard Creek. They don't even let, Hopewell rather doesn't even let them out of the spawners. They're going aggressive here.
Golden Eagle is being assaulted by the entire enemy team, but manages to survive regardless. I mean, that's Crime Master and Mercy putting in the work. The Coalescence really keeping Golden Eagle up there.
Oh, no,
and
not like, oh, okay.
All right, the Meteor Strike was available. I was about to say, you deserve to fall off the map. But instead, Golden Eagle actually going on top of the shit. I mean, you never see this coming. No one ever expects this. And yeah, that's an easy couple of pickups there. Golden Eagle from the top rope, smashing Mallard Creek.
I mean, now 90%. They do get one, and the Resurrect comes in, so there is an opportunity here. That was a Tactical Visor, by the way, from Chicken Lord. So, you know, someone needs to touch, though. Someone needs to get to the point. They do get there. They do get there.
I think, yeah, Mazah Fade barely gets there, but it costs most of Mallard Creek. Golden Eagle never falls, and Crime Master comes around to assist, and with a Bob on the objective, too. Hopewell. Not technically as clean on this second round, but still a very clean first map win overall.
A strong showing from Hopewell, right? This is kind of a statement opening round, and remember, it is the first to 3, so it's not not a foregone conclusion that Hopewell kind of takes this one away. We already know how much control favors high tempo teams who like playing dive, who like playing this aggressive style, and obviously Golden Eagle is was more than willing to benefit from that. But I mean, in as much as it's not over yet for Mallard Creek, you do have to think, you have to feel pretty good for Hopewell as they kind of set up for map number 2 and beyond. And I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves as well.
How could you not, right? Taking a map 100 or 200 to 25.
Yeah,
right?
for real.
The way that Golden Eagle was styling around the map, even like Joe and Mercy getting involved in the action, really solid stuff from Hopewell there. And Mallard Creek, look, we've seen a lot throughout this entire week, and we've definitely seen control maps that were that one-sided, and then hybrid that went the complete other way. So
right.
No reason to kick your morale into the can and be like, well, we lost one map dominantly, yeah, we're done for. No, I think Mallard Creek can still look forward to hopefully get competitive, especially considering it's the Doomfist that Hopewell are succeeding with. There are a lot of maps where Doomfist just doesn't do well. Lijiang is a map where he does pretty well. And
I mean, the other thing to kind of highlight is that they were always playing into Golden Eagle's kind of strengths, like the location. Okay, I shouldn't say that. That implies that, Hopewell did nothing to be, kind of the masters of their own success. But it must be said, right, the couple of picks that happened for Golden Eagle were environmental eliminations off the side of the map. Several. So as you kind of head to hybrids and kind of beyond, where maybe you can get away from some of those areas where the Doomfist can play as aggressively because there are more easy escapes, all of a sudden maybe you can punish. Maybe rather than kind of waiting in. Another thing to kind of highlight, right? You talked about the Sigma and the accretion. One thing that was kind of happening is it was being synced up. The accretion and the Bastion tart form were not used in conjunction, right? So you were able to get full value out of both the power block and completely invalidate the Bastion, right? Maybe that changes when you get to hybrid, where you have a little bit more time to kind of set up your DPS for success. So yeah, I think there's still an opportunity here for Mallard Creek to kind of return some of the aggression that was showcased against them in map number 1.
And the other good news for Mallard Creek is, unlike with our group stage, right, even if they drop hybrid, the second map of their series, game's not over. No. Right? It is going to be first to 3 here today, so you've got some wiggle room. That being said, no team wants to try and pull off a reverse sweep. As satisfying as they are, it's not fun for that to be the only way you can win a series after 2 maps. So obviously that's not ideal, but there is a little bit more room for error as well.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I think Control doesn't really give you a lot of breadth to kind of flex your strengths, right? In terms of, you know, the I don't want to say cheese, the unique compositions. Niche is also another one for sure. The truth is, as you kind of step out of Control, you only have certain opportunities because you're playing around a central objective. And actually, as we say that, we actually head right back into a second opportunity, a different look as we get to between Garinger and NC Virtual.
Yeah, absolutely. We got multiple games. We got so many teams playing for all you fine folks at home here. So Garinger versus NC Virtual. We did get to see Garinger a little bit yesterday. XQCL on that Reinhardt once again. And still, you know, I said it yesterday for Garinger. I'd love for that to be accompanied by a Lucio instead of like the Mercy, right? I think if you made that one swap, this composition Garinger running would be perfect.
So far, NC Virtual actually getting the better end of just having a draw range, the Junkrat, right? Peppering the damage from afar, just to kind of put Garinger on the back foot.
Oh, okay, not the... Didn't get the upend on this first engagement, though. A nice fire strike and a ton of damage onto both Social and Ulysses. Means that Garinger will pretty easily take control of the objective first. But yeah, I mean, it is a question of how long can Garinger actually withstand, right? The Moira is good for like quick bursts of fight, early like fast engagements. Against a Junkrat, if Garinger just sort of stand out in the open, it's not going to be very fun.
This rotation. The other thing, actually, speaking of the Mercy, though, the one thing that is actually really strong is pocketing the Bastion, right? We already know how strong that turret form can be. With the Blue Beam, it can be even worse.
Yeah, I mean, you know, any sort of damage boost on the Bastion, we see it paired with the amplification matrix a lot of the time. That can be nightmarish to try and contend. NC Virtual not able to get much out of their first foray back to the objective. I love that Garinger are holding over on the high ground here, not getting NC Virtual a place to set up their Junkrat and Bastion. XQCL just doing a good job of maintaining presence, and here comes a Coalescence as well. NC Virtual, they don't have ults for a minute, and yet another beautiful fire strike from XQCL starts off what's going to be a winning fight for Garinger.
Really well done. I mean, speaking of another winning fight, they get the stagger plays as well on top of it all, and that means that you're going to, you know, trend towards final fight here. And NC Virtual, because of that, are going to be forced to kind of overcommit. They're going to have to overspend ultimates to get back into this, so it leaves a window of opportunity here for Garinger to kind of close out round number 1.
Yeah, good stuff already from Garinger. All they use is Coalescence too, which is very cheap ultimate. Good news for NC Virtual is they have quite a few ults of their own. Those rip tires have been, as you would expect, LaFon, very potent here at VESL. So I'm keeping an eye on Drow Strange, seeing what you can do. And Nano Annihilation, that works as well. It's pretty much unstoppable damage, just dogpiling on your face. You can see Social, I mean, yeah, doesn't even care about the assault configuration. Knows he's got the burst to deal with that one, but 85% for Garinger.
That is what I was kind of talking about, though, right? Is that there is going to be NC Virtual having to overspend for that. That's 3 ults from them, and Garinger are more than happy with that. They don't actually use anything in return. So NC Virtual, despite having, you know, a couple of resources, Garinger should be able to kind of close out, especially if they can bait the sound barrier primarily.
Garinger looking for a way back into this fight. NC Virtual up on the high ground themselves now. It's pretty natural for them considering what they have in their composition. They don't really want to fight anywhere else in the objective. Oh, that's a flag. Top 10, bruh! Just waltzes into the back line. And a Death Blossom carves NC Virtual to pieces.
A much cleaner look. Actually, that is also set up by Zany Druid. The artillery strike coming in from on high flushes everyone on NC Virtual into sort of like that kill corridor. And yeah, Death Blossom, top 10 brothers. Really not many opportunities to escape from that. So the Reaper feasts. And now, who's touching? Ana? Oh no.
Oh, okay, just barely gets there. Here comes a Riptire. It's struggling to get up. Oh, it's really struggling. All right, yeah, fine. Go for Mango Slayer. That's a good pick regardless. Top 10 Bro does get into the back line and punish that one. Here comes Earth Shatter. That's two laid down, and with the Lucio and the Bastion both hitting the floor here. Yeah, Garinger looking to convert. They give the point over for a brief moment to NC Virtual, but it will be Garinger with the first round of this.
And a little flex at the end there from XQCL on the Reinhardt. Tremendous stuff. I mean, the one thing, like I said, just a good rotation of resources by Garinger. They owned that round fully, and it really felt like, despite NC Virtual having resources that, you know, Garinger recognized exactly what their win condition was and played to it to perfection, right? That's just a good read on the round, and despite the 50%-ish that was gained by NC Virtual, really did not ever feel like it was outside of Garinger's hands.
Yeah, NC Virtual gonna have to find something to make up the deficit going into this second round of control. A little bit of an adjustment from Garinger too, actually going over to the Soldier 76. I don't know if I like that as much as I would have liked the Bastion. The Bastion's just such a constant burst damage threat, whereas the Soldier 76 for Zany Druid, I mean, there's some burst with the Helix Rocket, sure, but mostly it's like peppering in damage that can be dealt with more easily.
Yeah, a couple of first skirmishes. Garinger get the better end of the damage throughput, but NC Virtual so it's all about stabilizing right now.
XQCL has been nailing those fire strikes. I believe that first one hit 3, and then, you know, he thought he had a window open, but enough healing comes through. First cap does go over to NC Virtual, but it's not super comfortable right now. They have lost their main source of healing.
And I mean, talking about positioning, this has actually been a better, oh my word, what top 10, bro. Just stands face first and takes Social's
didn't expect it.
Losing out on that fight, had a pretty decent map control with that pickup from Social. It gives them an opportunity to kind of reset. Quick switch from Garinger as well as they go over to a Tracer now.
Man, that Nemesis form almost got enough of the piercing damage onto Mango Slayer. That pick and support would have been so critical. I mean, you know, Garinger, they keep running into this. Here comes an Annihilation. I wouldn't want to just personally try and brute force against a Ramatra. I mean, XQCL does trade back a couple, but left completely alone now. This is just going to be a nasty stagger, really. Okay, good call. Yep. Right off the map. Don't give any ult charge over.
Talking about that Bastion, you know, that upfront burst damage, Garinger returns to the composition that gave them the most success in round number 1. And I mean, is it a little too late, right? Was perhaps the call to come out on this, you know, mobility composition or mobility characters rather, the wrong one as they're staring down the deficit? Keep in mind, NC Virtual, so many resources. The Riptire by itself could end this incursion, right? As a single pickoff would probably spell disaster here for Garinger.
Shadow at the ready though, and I mean, Social, okay, gets the nano, but is that gonna be enough? Yeah, all right, just pierces straight through, not even worried about XQCL. Gonna try and reset Garinger, go for one more fight. A chase now from Social, but doesn't have enough damage to really finish off XQCL, but getting back to the point's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, who's touching? I think top 10 Bro might be the one who's gonna get it in, maybe. We're counting down, 2% left. You have to get there.
Is it the pin? No, it's the Valkyrie, but I don't think he gets there. Oh, Mango Slayer.
Just a little too high.
Up. Yeah, unfortunate. That was a nice Earth Shatter too. That was a very winnable fight for Garinger, but getting back to the objective can be very tricky in that time constraint. I mean, I commend them for going for the effort. I think it's definitely the right call rather than, you know, trying to force and make the previous fight work after it was clearly lost, but now we'll get sent to a third and final round of control.
Yeah, I mean, just a really good setup by NC Virtual, by the way, right? Just kind of rotating around their resources, which we talked about in round number 1. And so far, the team that has had the team that has had a better understanding of what their ult conditions are has had more success, right? As we are one apiece heading into Icebreaker for our third and final round here on Antarctic Peninsula.
Top 10 bruh trying to let the enemy team decide their comp. You guys want to see the Sojourn? Social says, nah, no thanks, bro.
All right, this is Garinger going back to their opening composition, by the way, so a little bit more effective, perhaps at bursting down the Ramatra once they get into too close.
Forgotten has to be careful. That Nemesis form, it's so dangerous. Ooh, a lot of damage coming through, too. I mean, top 10, barely getting away. XQCL not so lucky. Trades back and forth currently. If Social can survive, there's maybe an opportunity, but no healers for NC Virtual, so Zany Druid deals a ton of damage. Oh, but Saturn! Coming from the window, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone go through that window before for a play.
There's that adaptation, by the way, the Lucio coming out here from Mango Slayer. Clearly not the Mercy, but that means that you have to be just so much more judicious with your approach on the turret form of the Bastion and Zany Druid. Not able to get nearly as much damage, right? Saturn is just more effective in that long range fight, or sorry, the extended fight. And Garinger now have ground to catch up.
Social eating way too much damage there. Nothing that Ulysses and Frozen edge low. I assume that's supposed to be edge lord and it just doesn't fit. Anyways, there was nothing they could do to keep Social up, so 29% is all NC Virtual get right now.
If it's supposed to be Frozen Edgelord and just that's just too many characters, that is the funniest. That is probably the edgiest version. I think that's even better.
Honestly, I respect the commitment to it, right? Not like abbreviating like literally if you just abbreviated Frozen,
yeah,
you would be able to fit that in there. Love it. Who needs RNG anyways? NC Virtual needs some R&R, rest and relaxation, recoup. A lot of damage onto Social, but finally gets a nano, and that's almost perfectly timed. Here comes an Annihilation. Oh, and now just running into the backline too. There's no way to get away from this guy. Catch up to Zany Druid, not quite in time, but gets around the corner and survives the assault configuration. So back it goes to NC Virtual.
Interesting thing there from Garinger is they don't choose to invest the sound barrier despite being even at one point in terms of players left alive after they got in the lead percentage-wise on the objective. Feels that they want to mirror Frozen Edgelow in terms of the Lucio ultimate there. So keep an eye out on that as we kind of get into this next fight, right? Sustain is going to be the name of the game, and Garinger right now are about even with their opposition despite not having control of the point.
Garinger do get to the objective pretty quick. That's another nastier shatter. Ooh, the stun. Well done. That prevents a lot of the follow-up, but it doesn't prevent it enough. Okay, never mind. Never mind. All right, Garinger get in there. Yeah, they hard force with the Death Blossom and the sound barrier and all the ults they needed.
Yeah, there's that. Now, I mean, speaking of sustain, now it's NC Virtual's time to have the opportunity to kind of take the lead, right, resource-wise. So, Garinger, I mean, forced to invest in a good investment, right? You don't have to be in final fight territory. Now, even if they end up losing this next one because of an economic disadvantage, there is still, right, another fight left for them at the end of the round. So, I mean, that's assuming that NC Virtual get the victory in this fight. So we'll see how well they can do that with the sound barrier and the Riptire.
NC Virtual, all right. Draw Strange just runs straight in. Oh my word. No curve, no knuckle, nothing but gas on that pitch. The tire absolutely annihilates NC Virtual. I mean, that's a fancy little pin from XQCL, but doesn't survive it. Yeah, no, beautifully done.
I'm gonna take marks off from the elimination onto the Reinhardt. You gotta commit. You gotta commit to the charge off the map. Canceling it? Come on now. NC Virtual, by the way, still haven't used the sound barrier. They're actually pretty good straights for this final fight. Oh, and Zany Druid already sleeping.
Oh man, Zany Druid and Mango Slayer already so low. Garinger just have no way into this fight, especially now. Oh, the Annihilation popped on the objective. NC Virtual. A phenomenal turnaround here on Antarctic Peninsula. Nets them a map 1 win.
Incredible stuff from them, right? Recognizing their the win condition of their opponent's composition, kind of just shutting it down in totality. I mean, even more impressive was that they do that without really ever playing defense, right? In terms of, you know, kind of hiding away damage for the sound barrier. It's really just go, go, go. These combos with the Annihilation and the Nano Boost have just been wrenching for their opposition. Can't respond in any time, so tough place to be. We hop right back on board, by the way, staying into the action with Mallard Creek as they are here on map number 2, Hopewell. A lightning quick attack run here on Blizzard Worlds. They have 2 minutes and 57 as they had captured all 3 points. So Mallard Creek, remember we were talking about this at that last one. You know, maybe an opportunity in hybrid. So far, it's been a tough start for them.
Yeah, it seems like we missed quite a blazing attack from Hopewell here. Not much changed for them either. I mean, Crime Master now in... Or actually, no, Crime Master and Joe have a role swap. We've seen quite a few role swaps, actually, this week as well between a lot of the high school teams, right? Players just really knowing what their comfortable heroes are rather than, like, being fully comfortable in a role as of yet. This is... Hopewell, wow, you guys shouldn't be winning this. This is just wrong. Oh, I like the swap to the Roadhog. I actually really like the Roadhog here. That should be good to punish some of these very far forward players. Gotta be landing those hooks though to make it happen.
I mean, you can't really get a hook through a barrier, so this photon barrier
does make it tricky.
I don't think. Speaking of places, I don't think I've ever seen a fight happen. I have literally never seen people fight here.
I've seen it in when they did prop hunt.
Yes, I mean, sure, yeah.
That's the only time when it was the prop hunt meta where all the props would just camp the attacker's spawn and throw the stuns at them. Yeah, no. Other than that, though, I mean, Hopewell, this is just them showing how respected they need to be treated throughout the rest of this bracket, right?
For sure.
I mean, if they're going to relentlessly spawn camp. They have all the confidence in the world. They're not afraid of anyone or anything, even as a whole hog comes out.
Yeah, and I mean, now Mallard Creek, right? They're an unenviable position of having to kind of use ultimates to get out of spawn here. Wow, that's another photon barrier, by the way. Like in like the span of like what, 40 seconds or something?
Yeah, like a minute. The Crime Master. I mean, yeah, living up to the name, I suppose. Certainly feels illegal to generate ults that quickly. Jayla, do you have the blaster out in Valkyrie? Put that away. The res onto Plum goes too. I mean, good attempt, Mallard Creek, but yeah, I mean, you know, with Crime Master down, oh well. Now they have to try and fight this 4v5. Ooh, that's a nice hit though. Doesn't save Chicken Lord though, so now it's 3v5, and you really got to start being careful here.
Yeah, I mean, still, I mean, actually, Golden Eagle playing Gatekeeper, playing Bouncer, essentially solo.
Golden Eagle is literally trying to 1v5 the enemy team. I need to see this on like one of those TikTok edits with like hyper pop behind it. This is ridiculous.
Shout out to Joe for keeping him alive as well.
Joe is the only reason that Golden Eagle can play this far forward. And once Joe dies, so does Golden Eagle. Funny how that works. Here comes Mallard Creek. I mean, they trigger overtime. They have a chance to actually get this first cap.
Oh, you need the elimination to Crime Master. You need it now.
It doesn't quite come through. That Kitsune rush.
Oh,
pretty
okay.
dangerous as well. Okay. Eventually the picks come in. Golden Eagle does get an empowered punch. Meteor Strike 2, but no, kind of field goals that one in the middle of the entire enemy team.
Hold on.
Still good for 1, but no, I mean, surely not, right? Although that being said, not even a tick has actually been taken as of yet, and a coalescence to commit to this. Joe and Golden Eagle, they refuse to give up anything, and now, I mean, the tack visors come back too. Oh, for not even a tick, that would be so hard. All right, Golden Eagle falls. Yet another res. Jayla is relentless keeping their team in this fight, but it can only last so long. Nia trying to do what they can on the jug grab, but no. Jayla couldn't quite get on the objective. What a valiant effort, though, by Mallard Creek.
Oh, what a tremendous effort indeed. But I mean, what a reset from Hopewell as they'll take a 2-0. Oh, hello. Look at this.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's see it. All right. Oh, it's at the very end,
it's
too.
The very
nice.
end, yeah.
I mean, these reses were clutch.
It's really good cycling of the heal beam and blue beam. I mean, it's kind of tough, right? But in that situation, to kind of bring up, you know, what the Mercy can do. Jayla did their absolute best. Such a tremendous showcase there, and unfortunately just not quite enough as Hopewell take a pretty commanding lead, it must be said. Match point afforded to them. Remember, this is a 1-3 now in the bracket play, and so you actually do have to win a third map. That being said, Malik Creek, a reverse sweep is required here for them to keep themselves alive and kind of in contention.
And Hopewell looked pretty scary.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they're going to allow a reverse sweep to come through. I mean, making the Doomfist work on defense point A of Blizzard World is impressive in and of itself, right? Much less Golden Eagle and Joe managing to find a way to, like, I wouldn't say 2v5 because it's not like they won a lot of those 2v5 engagements, right? But like even surviving a 2v5 basically in the enemy team spawn, that in and of itself is extremely impressive.
I mean, not to cast any shade either. Crime Master just was 3 photon barriers in the span of like, I want to say 2.5 minutes. That's just an unbelievable pace from the Symmetra. So as a team, right, just a tremendous performance, and they'll find themselves now, sitting at match point, awaiting their next opportunity.
Yeah, wonderful stuff from them. I mean, and keep in mind, if Hopewell managed to win one more map in this series at any given point, they will move on and play one of those first seeds that got the bye and manage to give themselves a chance to move on to that regional LAN.
Yeah. And remember, that is what everyone is playing for, right? That opportunity to play on location, in person, just a difference of that really can't be explained until you've experienced it, right? So a lot to play for here. And I mean, Hopewell doing a great job of setting themselves up for success as they try and move forward and, see what they can kind of accomplish to try and win out.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. I'm so excited. This is just our first match too, and we're already getting some ridiculous stuff. I mean, the pen off of the map for our other game, our NC Virtual versus Geringer game. Sound barriers. I've been loving everything so far, LaFon. Especially the Doomfist. Billy and I have said it both days. I don't know what they're putting in the water over in North Carolina, but like all the Doomfist players are just crazy. And that's every single Doomfist player we've seen this week has been a nut.
I will also say that we haven't seen a ton of Doomfist shutdown attempts, right? That is something. The Doomfist have done quite a good job, but I mean, especially here today, Golden Eagle, while being taken a lot of advantage of the space being afforded to them, you got to wonder, is there perhaps, an opportunity to kind of work around maybe the fact that Doomfist has played? I mean, we saw the Roadhog a little bit, but hey, maybe a Sombra could kind of step in, maybe, try the Sigma, the Accretions, et cetera, et cetera. So looking forward to seeing maybe, just try to shut down that player just a little bit, especially with how effective they've been at kind of setting the tempo of play. So credit to Hopewell and Golden Eagle, but looking for an opportunity for them to kind of close it out.
Yeah, absolutely. LaFon and I are going to go to a quick caster break, but we're going to leave you with more gameplay, map number 2 for NC Virtual and Geringer.
sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Play of the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We're on to map number 3 for Hopewell versus Mallard Creek. Already, it seems like Hopewell doing a good job. They got the first point here as we move on to Suravasa. And the next flashpoint is just about to unlock.
Looks like Golden Eagle and company picked up right where they left off, which is winning points, right? So keep an eye on this. Also, this point that they're going to now, a lot. Speaking of environmentals, the one of two places in this map where it can happen a lot. So keep an eye out for that, especially. Although Chicken Lord is the first one to go down, he's not off to a hot start yet for Hopewell.
Man, Golden Eagle has no fear. The rest of Hopewell is like, oh, let's back up. Let's go to the objective. Golden Eagle is just absolutely thigh deep inside the enemy, like from foot to thigh right now. It is insane. The water level is rising here, but Ironically enough, it's not the Creek team that are happy about the rising water level. It's instead Hopewell doing very good. They've already got the cap here, and will throw down the Kitsune Rush. There goes Dab the Sav, and the rest of Mallard Creek follows.
I mean, Tactical Visor into the Kitsune Rush. That's a lot of damage, awful quick, and even the Nemesis form of Mallard Creek Annihilation, not enough to keep that one in play. So Hopewell, I mean, keep in mind, the point moves so very quickly on this map type. You know, the objective counter. We're already in final fight territory here for Hopewell as they look to try to close out round 2 and put themselves at match point.
Yeah, you really only get a couple of chances on each objective, and if you give it over before the fight actually engages on that very first cap, it's essentially 2 fights. Golden Eagle now gets the empowered punch thanks to that configuration assault, and uses the empowered punch very well. Crime Master, I believe, with the collapse there, snowballing off the damage dealt by their tank player, and I mean, Hopewell are just as clean as can be.
Yep, and now 1 round away from closing this series out entirely and in style. As Mallard Creek, they have nothing. This is tough. They will get the priority path to the objective, but I mean, once you're there, how do you keep against Golden Eagle, who has that escape button, has done such a good job of staying alive, right? That you feel really, really tough here for Mallard Creek.
Oh, even more tough as Plum Ghost gets squashed by the Meteor Strike. Mia trying to answer back a little bit there, but no, it's not going to be enough. Hopewell, they're just on a roll. They're ready to get on to their next match.
I mean, that's just the fact that you're getting that many eliminations out of the Meteor Strike is tremendous, right? And I mean, what a delayed
I respect the
pick.
attempt there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, back cap. I don't back cap. That doesn't work too much on Flashpoint, turns out.
I mean, that's going to mean that Hopewell is up to like 30%, right? By the time Mallard Creek actually gets into this fight. Make that 50%.
Make it 50, yeah. Oh, maybe 60. The res does come through, but I mean, Plum Ghost isn't feeling much better than he was a moment ago when he was dead. Crime Master, okay, at least punished by Mia there, but no, it doesn't feel more doable now for Hopewell than it did a moment ago.
Oh, this punch. Oh no, Plum Ghost. That's tough. I mean,
it's just cyberbullying at this point.
With the staggers, right? I mean, it's final fight territory at the least. And even if Mallard Creek gets this, unlocked, they would have to overspend for it. So Hopewell feel like they're in the final stretches for sure.
Yeah, Hopewell on too much of a roll. There's something to be said for when a team is just all on the exact same page together. I mean, you can see even here as Crime Master goes for something ridiculous, you can see the rest of Hopewell are actually leaving the objective and starting to push toward Mallard Creek. See, like, look, we are eons from the point right now, light years away, and yet Hopewell is still doing exactly what they need to. 100% ticks over without an issue. And that's Hopewell High moving on to the next round of the bracket stage.
And what a statement win from them as well, right? That was a commanding performance that realistically, it felt like they were in control the entire time, right? Hopewell did not feel like they were really put to the test at any stage. And I mean, Golden Eagle, a large part of this. We talked, of course, about how great the supports were keeping them up. But for this one, I have to say that Golden Eagle was an absolute carry player.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see some of these Doomfists go against each other, man.
Yeah.
It's always, all we've gotten this week is like one Doomfist player that's taken over the lobby, and that's what we talk about. But like, when are we going to get some head-to-heads? I want to see some of these Doomfist players go against each other. You know, I want to see Golden Eagle go against
honorable
Doomfisted.
fisticuffs, if you will.
What was that?
Honorable fisticuffs.
Doom fisticuffs.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and we could even get the player named Doomfisted in Doom fisticuffs.
All right, let's. I mean, what a showcase there from Hopewell High. We're of course not done though. There is a lot more action.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna ping pong right on back to the NC Virtual versus Garinger game. NC Virtual, you guys saw while LaFawn and I took a step away to get some water. You guys saw that they took map number 2 as well. So Garinger in a similar spot to where Mallard Creek, where they have to reverse sweep to try and make this happen. But not a bad start. If they can heal up here, if they can stabilize a little bit. They've already gotten a couple picks. It is 30% and counting. The point did go over to NC Virtual first, but the flip will come through.
I'm actually impressed at how well NC Virtual's made the Ramatra kind of work, right? I think one thing that, the adaptation going to have to be from Garinger if they want to keep this in contestant or keep this, series going, is they can't try and use the shield of the Reinhardt to kind of hold against damage, because Social has been taking full advantage of that. Keep in mind those punches, right, from the Nemesis form go through shields. So just going to have to kind of play really aggressively and pretend you don't have a barrier, which I think this fight is absolutely going to be doable because the Shatter is on a line here for XQCL.
Annihilation is in the tank, though. Yeah, it gets used immediately, and with one support already gone, the other one has to pop Valkyrie to try and keep Garinger in this fight. Sound Barrier, though, great answer. And no angle really ever had a chance to be set up for that Earth Shatter. I mean, XQCL, we've seen this person in the past. We'll absolutely fight to the last breath here, but that last breath is going to be coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, more of a gasp in the end as the Nano Boost comes in onto Social. So maybe a little bit expensive for NC Virtual, but that is going to be a final fight. I actually don't necessarily know that Garinger's going to have a clean approach here, right? Keep in mind, they do have to contest the objective very, very swiftly. They do have tools to win the fight out, but they have to just touch the point.
I mean, getting to the objective can sometimes be tricky. That's a nice sleep, and nobody gets there. Oh, brother. And now Social, I mean, even getting more out of it. Already almost back to the Annihilation used just a fight ago.
Yeah. They get one for their trouble. Unfortunately, it's one of the faster moving players. So Saturn will be back into the thick of things very, very quickly. I mean, you look at this, Garinger. How expensive? How expensive?
Right?
Yeah.
But how expensive will it be? That's an excellent question.
And it's not like NC Virtual are, defenseless. Coming up to the EMP, coming up to, I mean, that Annihilation, as you highlighted as well.
You got to be careful when you use the Coalescence as well. It is one of those ults that can be canceled by the EMP. So you don't want to open up with hack. Oh, okay, well, I mean, there goes top 10. And the anti. Beautiful hit from Ulysses. Oh, my word. And an Annihilation to follow it up. Anti into Annihilation into fight win. Perfect play.
Oh, I like that from Social. What too? Yeah, don't let X Forgotten get away. Good combo there from the Ana and the Ramatra from NC Virtual. Yeah, what a cheap fight too for NC Virtual, right? Nothing used at all. And Garinger make a quick switch as they bring the Reaper in, but I don't know that the Reaper actually solves some of those issues they're looking at, right? Maybe they're trying to just burn Social down, but it's going to be a tough ask for sure.
I mean, I'm still looking at that EMP ready to... Oh, what a nice shatter. The shield up just a second late. That's one pick out of that. Ooh, can't quite find the pin he was looking for, but the artillery strike will do more than enough work. Nice job from Garinger to get back into this one, but they're going to need perfect play on this point in order to tie up Surabasa.
Yeah, it's good. You had a 50% chance that you got it wrong. That's actually genuinely
impressive. We were just on Surabasa. Don't give me that.
Actually, speaking of investing, Garinger, that was every ultimate they had. That was 4. Yeah. All right.
It was 3, but it's
okay. Sorry, you're
still
fair enough. Fair enough.
Now,
how well do they respond to the 4 that NC Virtual have at the ready is the question.
Yeah. This is a tough fight for Garinger to win. You have to imagine. Maybe if they could get a pick really early in this fight, they could look to do it. Social walking up on top of XQCL already. Hack doesn't quite land, so instead a commitment. Oh, a commitment. There goes the EMP, finally flying. A nice anti as well. One will fade away from it. XQCL just barely surviving, but can't live forever. It's just too much. 4 ults invested back the other direction as NC Virtual know they have a chance to take a dominant lead, not only on the map, but almost closing out the series.
Actually, no, this is going to be the point over because top 10 Brez caught here. The Reaper is not going to survive. Yeah, that's it. So no one can even touch. Man, I was going to say that's 4 ults used, and that's super expensive, but also EMP is barely enough. So 3 and a bit from NC Virtual, but they do take that closeout point, or the opportunity for the closeout point coming up now, right, as they head into what could be the final objective here in this series as the first of 3 steps in NC Virtual. By the way, the biggest game changer for NC Virtual has been the Annihilation, and look who is right back to it.
Okay. Both supports down, though, for NC Virtual to start this fight off. I mean, Garinger have a chance to finally get first cap on an objective here.
I would also like to see, actually, the other thing, too, for Garinger is they build up to another Earth Shatter. So at no point has there ever been a response to the Annihilation, by the way. NC Virtual have always had, because it's been built so quickly, Garinger have had no way to kind of reply. I would like to see just a solo shatter here from XQCL once that comes in, right? burn the Ramatra down. I mean, they'll stave off the actual fight, as that was a big pickup from Top 10 Bro, who decides to pick up Sombra himself.
Once the Nemesis form is popped, whether it's Annihilation or not, you don't have to worry about the shield coming up, right? So there's no chance to block that. Top 10 Bro dying, that's not a great start. Will Social even have to use the Annihilation here? I mean, already just getting onto the back line, there is that Annihilation. XQCL pinning it away and chucking it down to the low ground instead. Realize, I mean, I think it's okay to not... Oh no, did use the Earth Shatter as well.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That was the shatter. So actually what ends up happening there is that Social uses the Nemesis form first, walks behind into the sort of the middle of all of Garinger. XQCL tries to shadow the back line, and that's when the Annihilation is popped from Social. So just a tough trade there from Garinger, as they'll now make a bunch of switches. A Life Weaver, whose healing output, it must be said, is incredible. And actually sneakily good at dealing damage too, so it's not like this is a bad pick. And of course, the Soldier here from Zany Druid. But that being said, I mean, NC Virtual, you're looking at the sound barrier, especially here, to try and keep the point in their favor and try and force, that final fight.
Oh, and X Forgotten dies with the sound barrier just barely worked up towards as well. I mean, now Garinger, they're only going to have one last chance. Some good ults for this final fight. Oh, X Forgotten gets rid of the sound barrier, swaps over to the Moira.
Uh-oh.
And I mean,
and these are some
XQCL is brutal.
Yeah, these are some delayed kills. I mean, even if Garinger get into contest, it's going to be haphazard. And NC Virtual, sound barrier, nano boost. This feels like Garinger's tools just aren't there. It's the Life Weaver. The Life Weaver's dead.
Mango Slayer dying for the cause there. A valiant effort. One by one, Garinger onto the objective, but now a sound barrier unleashed, a nano onto Social, an EMP still sitting in the pocket. One thrown out by Top 10 Bra, and a pick good for it, but a pick will be all that she wrote. NC Virtual with the 3-0 to move on to the next round.
And I mean, what was a great start for Garinger on round one. Remember, that was not a close round all the way back on Antarctic Peninsula. It returns to be all NC Virtual as they'll take the 3-0. I mean, Social. Maybe it just took a round to warm up kind of situation for this player, but we've talked about tanks a ton today, and well, we should, as Social just a massive reason why NC Virtual were able to kind of win out so commandingly.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen the Ramatra versus the Reinhardt really consistently, but back when Ramatra was released and then all the way through like June, the question was like, oh, Ramatra versus Reinhardt, who wins that fight? I mean, I think there are opportunities still for it to go either way, but that Ramatra right now, in this match at the very least, Social did such a good job of punishing XQCL anytime the shield was up, and even just walking past the Reinhardt into the backline. Phenomenal play from Social and the rest of NC Virtual.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give credit to the supports when a tank is able to just kind of walk into the thick of things, right? A lot of times it's because the backline is doing a great job of putting down resources to keep them alive. So that will be a tremendous start, and that puts us at the end of this round as well, actually, as we finish NC Virtual versus Garinger, a 3-0 for both of our first two games of the day.
Yeah, we're going to go to a quick break, folks, but round number 2 is starting in just a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We got round number 2 of our bracket stage coming at all you fine folks here as we play some more Overwatch in VESL. It's myself, Possible, with LaFawn once again. And now we're moving into our premier matchup for our 7 p.m. Eastern block. It's going to be West Forsyth versus Green Hope.
This is going to be, I mean, listen, we've already seen 2 games here on this stream, right? Keep in mind, there is obviously both streams running at the same time. So a lot of Overwatch happening in not a lot of time. And I mean, what a tremendous showcase in that first one, right? Doomfist galore. So already, I think some looks that are perhaps, I don't want to say unique, because there is some, there's some precedent with the games that we saw yesterday or we've seen recently, rather, where the Doomfist is played a lot. I mean, the Ramatra is an interesting look, but it seems a lot of the teams have their own insight into how this kind of patch is working for them. A lot of playing to their strengths here, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see this next game too, because Billy and I got to see West Forsyth and Green Hope over the course of these past couple of days. Yesterday, specifically, I believe, for both of these teams. For West Forsyth, I'm excited for the Genji probably to come back out for Phil McCracken. The dude was just insane on the Genji yesterday. A 1v9 performance. We're already out into the match. You can see Phil McCracken loading up on that already and getting the first pick of the match.
Oh, great. This is looking like a rough fight, actually, for Green Hope. Look how weak Plor is already, despite that damage coming in. Does get the DMAC, so that's good, but there's that cooldown gone, and already, Phil McCracken.
Look at the pocket. Oh, okay. The pocket on Phil McCracken from Get Good Heals doesn't end up being enough this time. Oblivion, I love this decision, this selection of the Zarya. Maybe even knew that Phil McCracken was going to come out on that Genji. In gaming yesterday, played a lot of Diva, a lot of Orisa, too, so I love this Zarya from Oblivion.
All right. Actually, that's gonna herald a change here for West Forsyth. Is a couple of quick switches, but back to the Winston. So they want the barrier to kind of defend, to give them sort of a staging ground once they get in onto the dive. I think here for West Forsyth.
I mean, Phil McCracken's already got the Dragon Blade.
Yeah.
Already has the Dragon Blade. Died in the fight, like halfway through last time, and already.
This is also, by the way, this is also a 4v5. I'm pretty sure, because there was an elimination by Phil McCracken.
I mean, now it's falling apart though. Unfortunately, Phil McCracken not going to be able to get in off that one. It was a really nice find by Oblivion and Shadowstorm, both the supports kind of left out by the wayside by West Forsyth.
Another change here as well as their Sojourn kind of comes through. I mean, the longer this goes, by the way, with these awkward dives from West Forsyth, the more Green Hope is going to build towards their ultimates. And I mean, Photon Barrier is so good at, bisecting the objective, Sound Barrier for sustain. It's looking pretty rough for West Forsyth here. It's about 60% through.
Valkyrie and the Dragon Blade both going to be popped here. Nice projected barrier, trying to keep Spicy Pepper up. Eventually will fall regardless, but okay, I was going to say only one out of the blade, but no, Phil McCracken makes it more than that. But I tell you, LaFawn, this guy can take over a team fight. Yeah,
really, really well done there by the Genji. That was still a very expensive fight, though, right? Now, here's where the question kind of comes in. Do you nano your Genji on this one, or do you nano your Winston? Obviously,
I think game theory would dictate you nano the Winston almost at primal, right? But
I think, actually, that's the reason why I would nano the Genji here. You've got that sustain from the Winston coming in anyway.
Ooh, an aggressive TP into a grab. Not quite enough charge, though. Will there be the damage? An Ant Matrix with the Bastion, hopefully. Yes, okay, my feet stood there for a second, but yeah, Green Hope get it done.
All right, and that was the nano, too, from West Forsyth, by the way. So, I guess that
we
question kind of gets...
that anymore.
Well, I guess it kind of gets answered, right? Nothing happens out of it, so...
Unlucky.
I mean, Phil needs to stay alive in this one, because this is...
All good. Pocket is enough. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay, just barely. Elega pretty low here too. West Forsyth struggling to get into this one. A primal immediately going to be popped, trying to juggle Oblivion away from these DPS and create an opening for the overclock as Elega pops that one. Eventually, over Otaku slapped on, and Gaming getting all done. All right, it's not the DPS show for this fight. When Gaming falls, will there be enough? Yeah, Green Hope are too low to hold on to this one, but they got 99%.
They do, and they, actually got some pretty big ults out of West Forsyth as well. And it's not done and dusted yet. Actually, gets eliminated here. Oblivion will be taken down. Okay, they stay on the objective, thankfully. No resets coming in. By the way, it is actually possible to not contest the point while being on the objective. Where Phil McCracken is standing right now is technically not in the point. So if you stand on the sides there, it could be a C9. Keep that in mind when you head into your games. Now, speaking of, Plor is going to be the big difference maker here.
I've definitely C9'd on that bench before.
Yeah.
Like myself. All right. Green Hope taking a long time to get back to this one, too. Will they go for another TP play up top? I'm expecting something cheeky. Yeah, right through the same area they were last time. Phil McCracken out with the blade. Nice cover there by Gaming, just trying to absorb all the damage from Plor, give Phil McCracken all the ample space to work through. And still not 100% clear cut, though, with Oblivion still hanging around and 3 down for West Forsyth. I don't think that Phil McCracken and good heals will do this themselves.
No, I mean, those turrets have been doing so much work in terms of damage throughput. Okay, good heals being eliminated means that Phil has to contest, and yeah, it's tough. That's too much.
Some quick recontests here. A valiant effort, but I mean, no, not meant to be. Up to 91%. If Green Hope were at 70, man, that would have been really good for West Forsyth's chances. But instead, 99 becomes 100.
And I mean, Green Hope, right? They've clearly understood the assignment. Make sure the Genji does not have free reign, and you'll be in for a pretty good position, right? And I think the other thing too is just slow Phil McCracken down on the Genji. The Zarya bubbles are good, are a tremendous part of that because you can use the projected barrier on whoever the Genji's target is, and that buys time for the DPS of Green Hope to actually clear up or deal damage to the rest of the players. So really like this adaptation from Green Hope.
West Forsyth, though, try and run this composition back. This is something where a lot of their players are comfortable on these heroes, so no reason to change the full formula after just one close round loss of control. But man, I mean, the Symmetra just makes this really annoying for Phil McCracken. Is immediately, once again, on top of Spicy Pepper. Wow. All right, I'm getting deja vu of Night Market, but this time it might not be so clear cut for West Forsyth. Instead, Plor picking up a couple before falling, and Phil McCracken couldn't get out the window in time. So now, I mean, you gotta keep gaming up if you want to try and keep this going. Well, Virtual Fox left on an island too, so Green Hope get the first cap.
Yeah, I mean, Plor, despite Phil McCracken being kind of the defensive, or sort of the focus, rather, of everyone in the lobby, Plor is quietly puts the damage down onto the supports, right? And West Forsyth can't keep their Genji up, and that's going to be, the fight kind of trending away. So Green Hope really making sure this Genji can't set up. Like, already down to half HP is Phil McCracken. Before the fight even happens, the bubble gone. So and West Forsyth have to wait for their CDs to reset.
This sort of position too, yeah, this is what I was worried about. In VESL, we've seen a lot of teams really struggle to find a coordinated way across this bridge, a coordinated way to assault the objective on Gardens here once they lose that first progress. It's been a very one-sided stage here in VESL because it's hard to attack if you don't know exactly how to get across the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, the way is, by the way, is you kind of know where your opponents are set up. You scout kind of from the safety of the archway and then make it like kind of a blind approach to that kind of center area. But obviously that's it's a lot easier said than done. And Green Hope are doing a great job of it.
White room rotation here. I like that adaptation from West Forsyth. Gotta keep gaming up. Already pretty low. That tank can't afford to fall. The overclock. No, not the overclock. Sorry, that was just a railgun shot, but it doesn't matter. It's shut down either way. And even a blade from Phil McCracken ain't gonna be enough to get it done this time around. Plor, like you said, I mean, really just annihilating everyone.
Yep, and I mean, Kitsune Rush coupled with the Photon Barrier, right? That's a lot of damage to kind of avoid, and not very many ways to kind of deal your own in return. West Forsyth have, by the way, entirely changed up their composition. A Sigma now Phil McCracken over to a Hanzo, but it feels a little too late. Who's even touching the objective as we are in the last 10% of the round?
And Phil McCracken over on the Hanzo this time around. The other Shimada brother will have no better luck. Elega undoubtedly done for. Yeah, when you're in Plor's sights and out in the open like that, there's nothing you can do. Round one was close. Round two, not so much, as Green Hope snowball that early cap into a map.
And for early lead here for Green Hope as they'll take the preemptive strike. and find themselves now as they head into hybrid to wonder, try and close this one out. Already so far today, we've seen the teams that have won the first map have put themselves in pretty prime position to continue their progress forward. And we'll see how well Phil McCracken and company can make their recovery, or if it's going to be returned by Green Hope in map number 2.
I mean, Green Hope were phenomenal yesterday as well. I sold it out Phil McCracken because it was just such an dominant individual performance. But the question always has to be asked when a player is that hard of a carry, right? Is if the enemy team has good strategy and manages to shut down a player that performs as well as Phil McCracken, what is the next step for a team that relies on such a dominant Genji like West Forsyth, right? So I'm interested to see what the adaptation for them is going into map number 2.
And they'll have to make it awful quick, right? Not a lot of room for error. And dropping that second map, right, would be just disastrous for them, because in a reverse sweep situation, right, you're on the precipice of defeat, and you'd really like to give yourself a chance to kind of keep things moving, as they'll hope to head to hybrid for a better look.
And keep in mind, folks, this entire bracket stage is all single elim.
Yes.
You get one shot. You can drop no matches. You got to win at least 2, if not 3. If you were first seed coming into the bracket, you got to win 2. Everybody else, you got to win 3 games in a row in order to make it on to the next step and onto that regional LAN in January. So not much room for error. Admittedly, more room for error than in the group stage because it's first to 3 instead of first to 2.
Yeah.
But still, gonna want to turn momentum around quickly on hybrid and not wait for that reverse.
Yeah. We also get a kind of a sense, like, as we kind of go from game to game, we get a sense of what the different looks for the teams are going to be, right? Because so far we've seen 4 unique identities in the span of 2-3 games. So that's a really impressive place to be, right, in terms of where we kind of find ourselves. And I'm looking forward to seeing what those adaptations are, or if it's not necessarily a compositional adaptation but a stylistic one, right? You don't have to change the individual heroes to make a different look, right? Maybe Phil McCracken, just pick this player for example, because we just had them as kind of the game there. Maybe you now play a little bit more passive now that you know that they're focusing on the Genji. Make them take the target, make them take the brunt of the damage, and open up the opportunities for your other players, right? Maybe head over to a Bastion, similar to what Plor was doing, right? Kind of disappeared into the conversation. Everyone was so focused on the Zarya on Oblivion that all of a sudden the Bastion becomes sort of an unmarked character. And by the time you notice, it's a little too late. So that ends up being kind of the victory condition. So, these are all the kind of questions I have heading into map number 2 and beyond. Is what does an adaptation look like? Is it compositional? Is it stylistic? Is it a combination of both? All of these are sort of things I'm looking out for to try and see as the teams kind of evolve from now.
I think based on what we saw of West Forsyth yesterday, compositional is certainly likely. We already saw Gaming making quite a few swaps. Gaming, one of the tank players that we've seen where, unlike those single I'm gonna play Doomfist kind of tanks, very much swapping all over the place. Instead, right now we're going to Gaston Early versus Myers Park. And I see you, Trevor. I see you. I remember you. This is another one of those Doomfist players that really took over a lobby. Almost falling there, but a deflect from Not Surf, keeping the tank in the mix as we start out on Lijiang Tower between these two.
Well, it's not going to be the Doomfist against the first elimination. Instead, Not Surf, another Genji stepping to the fore. Pick up the first elimination. Keep in mind, there's a lot of healing available in this lobby. Between the Weaver, Baptiste, and the Brigitte, there is so much to kind of look for. Oh, the poor Brig. Oh, no. Oh, still survives. Justin.
Justin actually makes it out of that one miraculously. That's a nice slap. And, Justin doubles right back into Not Surf. Without your Brigitte, it doesn't feel very doable right now. And isolation, potential DMAC here. On to Chief Warlock, too. If Chief Warlock gets DMAC'd, that recontest is going to take so much time. Gaston Early keeping up the pressure, too. Not letting Myers Park get away from this. They will pop the Tree of Life, though, to stay in the mix.
That's so far back is the problem, right? So you're not really getting the over health for the entirety of the team. So they have to actually kind of stand back and wait for it to kind of stack up before they make the reset, before they make the actual engagement. Nice little dodge there with the pedal.
That was pretty nice. I liked that from Hurricane. Excited to see more of that potentially. Here comes a Blade right onto the Brig. No, Justin gets out of that one again. Justin is an escape artist. I don't know how he survived. I mean, just chunking damage into Chief Warlock. Not the most efficient use of the Blade. Oh, caught in the trap. Oh, D-Mechton having to pop the self-destruct to get back into mech there, but still, actually ends up being a pretty even fight. The problem for Myers Park here is that Gaston earlier getting percentage all the while, and with Kitsune Rush out and Riptire still available, it doesn't feel likely that this flip is coming anytime soon. Nah.
Oh my god, that is so much damage so quickly. Rusty Golem just put down 2 grenades in the span of like a quarter of a second. There was no way to respond.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush Junkrat isn't something we see often, but it will haunt my nightmares now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Tac Visor. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, Eruption is a very apt name for what just happened there, yeah.
Quick little flank there from the Soldier. Gets a quick 3-piece as well. That's going to be the Myers part, taking control of the objective. Actually, and speaking of, remember when I said there's a lot of healing in the lobby? Hurricane back up to another Tree of Life here. And this time with control of the objective, you can just place it down in the middle of it and just be so much more of a threat in terms of your HP pool. So keep an eye on that for sure as Myers Park look to try and equalize the percentage.
You have to be careful. Even with that overhealth, the Riptire can still cut through a lot of the time. With Trevor down, though, do you really want to go for this? I mean, one pick answered back the other way, but still no tank. Here comes the Riptire. Does get one, Justin falling, but still Hurricane now back and available to use the Tree of Life. Should he deem it necessary? Yeah, throw that in. I think that is an excellent call for sure. Here comes a Blade, but again, not quite finding as much as he would like. Not Surf struggling to pin down a target. Meanwhile, Chief Warlock is getting the rest of Gaston early taken care of.
Yeah, that's going to be actually every ult that Gaston early had in their back pocket used. So now they have to generate, back up to a bunch of new ones. They will have both support ultimates. The only kind of problem is that Myers Park is everything, right? The only thing that they kind of used in that last fight was a Tree of Life.
Oh, okay.
Trevor, going in?
Unlucky there.
I'm going to give that one a
I don't think there was a way out there, I will truly say. I mean, you either like hang on where you kind of were in White Room, or you try to go back to where your supports are, but it's like no man's land to get to inside their line of sight. Ant Matrix thrown down here pretty ambitiously. Oh, that self-destruct. Yeah, Immortality Field doesn't protect you from that one. Oh, and the squish on Not Surf too. Myers Park, after going down 90%, are now well on their way to take control center. I don't think there's anything Gaston can do to stop him.
Nope. Overtime, only a sort of a formality, if you will. And what a recovery from Myers Park there. Huge credit to them. I mean, that Tree of Life, that one fight where the Dragon Blade comes in from Not Surf and just can't hunt down the Life Weaver, right? That kind of feels like the turning point for that first round. And I mean, Life Weaver quietly has become just a healing monster. And if you're not careful, can really keep players in sort of the fight when realistically no other support can. So keep an eye out for that as kind of things go on.
Oh, it's pronounced Gaston. My bad. Gaston, I assume. Gaston early.
I'm not American. I can make excuses for my.
Man, this is where I wish I had Billy. Billy's lived in North Carolina. He knew how all these schools were pronounced. I'm not smart. Over here in Arizona, who knows how to pronounce anything?
One thing Gaston is looking to pronounce.
Ooh, this is an interesting couple of adjustments too. Trevor over onto the Ramatra now. This was another pick that I believe we saw from Trevor this week, so not terribly surprising. The Cassidy 2 from Not Surf.
The Reaper from Chew is a big one too, right? This is a lot of damage.
Actually,
the
Chew just immediately on Vampira. 3 shots and he's down. There goes the Baptiste. And without the Baptiste, it's hard for Gaston to do much of anything here.
Yeah, just holding space too. And oh my god, this bridge is so difficult too. We've already seen how difficult this bridge can be to approach. Gaston going to make a couple of changes, or I suppose just a single one. Lucio now instead. Trevor needs to stay alive.
Interesting. I mean, Surflino does nearly have the Tree of Life, so with a Lucio and that Tree of Life potentially, you could get in. Could. if you had your mantra.
Well, I mean, it's not done yet. Trading Chu means that there is an avenue of approach. At the very least, it's going to force Myers Park to kind of back up a layer, right?
Deadeye here definitely forces them to back up a layer. And now the Tree of Life, too. I mean, Eruptions doesn't have a way to get the players in the Tree of Life, but they're backing out of it. Oh my. Guys, you need that healing and that overhealth. Here comes a sound barrier. That'll be the overhealth they need. Now Trevor back on the Roadhog, too. Self-destruct is a tricky one. Rusty Golem will fall, but the pick onto Justin. Probably a worthwhile 1-for-1 for Gaston, as long as they can keep everybody else up. Now they've transferred over to the objective. That's a vulnerable Lifeweaver too. Hurricane not using the Tree of Life, just instead lifting himself into the sky, into safety, and bringing Chief Warlock up there to get healed. Now you can try and go for another fight here. Hurricane's still holding on to the Tree of Life, finally using it. And I mean, at this point in the fight, it feels very difficult for Gaston to actually push through that one. But without, I mean, Chief Warlock having a mech, and with Chu getting nothing out of the Death Blossom, Myers Parker's still in this.
I mean, they are still in this, but it is like up to the 90% marker, right? So even as Myers Park look to try and win it out,
this is chaos. This is scrap incarnate. Chief Warlock taking out Trevor. I mean, that actually makes it really difficult for Myers Park. Whichever tank goes down first means there's so much less staying power on the objective, so a sound barrier to try and convert that, turn it around. And Chief Warlock finally evicted too. The flip will be coming over, I believe.
Yeah, that is a self-destruct from Chief Warlock not used, so they feel that this one is no longer winnable. They're still straggling in though as Chu teleports to the objective, but no further. Try to crouch in a corner.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, I don't think Chu. Oh, actually, oh, nice. Okay, there it is. There's that that grip from the Weaver.
Yeah. Hurricane. I mean, Hurricane's actually been pretty good with those thus far.
Yeah.
That's like the second or third one that's really saved someone on their team.
I mean, you're looking at Tactical Visor, by the way. No shield to kind of defend against it, so that's something to keep in mind.
Were we backwards on the teams this whole time? Oopsie. Oopsie, that's my bad. Myers Park is the team that we casted earlier this week. That makes more sense. Yeah, no, that's why I remembered their name and I didn't know any of their players. Anyways, Eruption's End is going to go down. Nice little Deadeye there, too, from Not Surf. And Myers Park are going to be keeping this going.
I mean, really good kite there from Myers Park to deny that Tactical Visor. Is Hurricane going to live? No way.
Wow.
No, that's incredible. Fancy footwork there from the Weaver.
A pick onto Surflino. I mean, Surflino will be back quickly, but that does give a brief opening where Myers Park are going to have to be careful. I mean, Tyre trying to be used here. 14 health, but still gets the pick onto Justin. I mean, Rusty Golden gives his life, but that is so worthwhile. Vampiro with a sound barrier keeps everybody else on Myers Park up. And now as we're out to 80% almost for Myers Park, it's looking pretty good for them to possibly convert this.
Yeah, there is going to be another fight. The question is how competitive is it going to be, right? Is Gaston going to actually all be here? Is the real question. As they kind of make their approach. Somewhat haphazardly, actually. Someone needs to touch, needs to get to the objective. It'll likely be the tank, Chief Warlock.
Have to imagine. Yeah, there they go. Overtime is triggered, and now it's just a question of who gets what value. Tree of Life immediately committed by Hurricane. No surprises there. Rusty Golem falling is a problem. Artillery strike immediately. Oh, and the grip again. Oh, it would have been perfect. Chew, you got to keep your head down, buddy. The Deadeye's still up, but it all comes out in the wash anyways. Gaston early. Yeah, they'll get this done. Excellent comeback from them. And again, man, Hurricane's actually been really impressive on this Lifeweaver. And that'll be one map for Gaston early.
Yeah, I mean, really, in the final moments there, that amount of healing just to kind of work it. I almost wanted to see Trevor use the whole hog on the Tree of Life, right? Remember that is destructible, and I think it's like, what does it have, 1,000 HP? Whole hog in close quarters, it's a lot of damage that gets destroyed very quickly, so.
Could chew it up, could chew it up.
But that is a universe that we do not live in. Instead, it was a really well-placed ultimate, and so that is going to be enough to kind of close that one out. We immediately hop on board, by the way, back with Green Hope, as they find themselves 2 points up on King's Row. Looking to close out this map. Phil McCracken on the Soldier this time around.
Film Kraken in the spawn room this time around. Immediately sent packing the second that comes out. I do like the Reinhardt into the Zarya in theory here. Gaming is, I mean, in this fight at the very least, being a bit rolled over. Yeah, Green Hope, I mean, that's a lot of charge for Oblivion. Oblivion, a very confident Zarya player, and a spank and time bank here, it seems.
That was a
Green
sick...
Hope yeah, it's a technical term. Trust me.
No, I was gonna say the sick tracking from Oblivion. This is on point.
Nearly a Graviton surge, but Oblivion actually goes down. Film Kraken does fall using the Tac Visor too. West Forsyth trying to use every ult they can to turn this back around. I think as long as Gaming and get good heals survive, yeah, the respawn should be close enough. I mean, here comes an assault configuration. That Valkyrie makes it really difficult to pin down, even with the high DPS output of Plor.
Yeah, but that was the Valkyrie used, right? And I mean, Green Hope, they have a Graviton Surge coming in this next one. So unless Gaming manages to get the perfect shatter, this is going to be a very, very tough final fight. Keep in mind, it's 4 check marks on Green Hope's side. So a stay of execution, perhaps. Do they check their corners? They do not. Film Kraken is on their back line there, but I don't know that it's going to be enough.
You got to get a 1 clip if you want to try and turn that around. The Earth Shatter, I believe, went straight into a bubble, so nothing there by Gaming. And now okay, I mean, not the ideal Graviton Surge, but you hardly need it to be. Virtual Fox and get good heals, hopping around best they can, but nah, there's not going to be anything they can do. It's just a stall for time, and not even that much time at that. A pretty solid cap by Green Hope. 95 seconds on the clock as they finish King's Row.
Yeah, that's I mean, you can even see the celebratory final artillery strike and sound barrier just to kind of remind their opponents, hey, even if you had come out, no guarantee you would have won the fight. And I mean, Green Hope, what a statement round from them, right? They end up control really quite dominantly and continue it into hybrid. And now the defense ends up being a big deal. I think for Green Hope, the one thing that's kind of a highlight here is Oblivion, right? The fact that the Zarya is just taking over. At the top of this patch, remember, all the way back, all those, like about a month ago, right? Everyone was like, oh, Zarya is going to be, the meta kind of pick. We ended up seeing that wasn't quite the case, that there are ways to counter her. But the thing is, if the Zarya gets to high energy and you can't eliminate her, the Zarya is still very, very good. And we're seeing why in the hands of Oblivion here for Green Hope.
And now West Forsyth, they're in the unenviable position if they don't want to go down 2-0 and have to reverse sweep this game to keep their hopes alive here in VESL. They're going to have to fully cap with time. At the very least, that is the minimum requirement that got to keep King's Row going.
I will say that if they keep the map going, right, a 135 time bank is pretty big, but not like the biggest we've ever seen.
Beatable,
right?
If we can get to those overtime rounds.
Exactly. I don't.
But
this
pretty
I mean,
big if to hang your hopes on, especially starting out here.
I will say this Orisa pick is going to be tough. Right? One of the things that we've already noticed is that Zarya into Orisa does favor the Zarya, right? Not a lot you can do. A lot of your Zarya's entire kit basically goes through your cooldowns. So something to keep in mind.
This is the composition that West Forsyth ran a little bit yesterday when we saw them on King's Row. Film Kraken liking to play the Widowmaker, punish a lot of the people poking their heads out here in VESL this week on first of King's Row. Struggled to do it yesterday a little bit here, so hoping to see a little bit more accuracy on the Widow there. I mean, the res does come through, but with Elega falling on the Bastion, it doesn't feel any more doable than it did a moment ago. Even that anti, there's just no follow-up, unfortunately.
And I mean, even though Film Kraken is getting so much healing, it's resources that's not going to the rest of the team, so Virtual Fox goes down. And yeah, this feels like a stagger. Yeah, that's such a tough place to be. Great holds here.
Yeah, really nice use of the configuration assault from Plor, waiting until Gaming had used the Javelin spin already, and there's nothing you can do there.
No, I mean, Plor has been, we talked about this in map number 1, right? Kind of disappearing in the conversation. Makes their presence felt in the big moments, right? When you kind of need the Bastion to step up, Plor's in the kill feed, and that's really been a big difference here for Green Hope.
That was tough. Film Kraken almost capitalizes off of a nice sleep hit by Virtual Fox, but just enough peel by the supports of Green Hope there keeps Shadowstorm alive. Then it's an overextension, and West Forsyth fall apart a bit.
And a Graviton to Film Kraken gets, that's a good anti actually that sets that up from Virtual Fox. And Film Kraken, they do not respect the Genji player, and he's gone right back into it.
Can he get to a health pack? Can he survive long enough here? Just sort of dipping and diving around. Some heals coming in. Virtual Fox and now get good heals available. A blade if you really feel like you need it. The respawns might be coming back here soon. There's an Ant Matrix thrown out too. One projected barrier used. I think if a second one gets used here, expect to see Phil McCracken just go for it. Immortality field gone now too. There's not much left available, but you don't need a blade, but throw it out anyways. It's fun fanfare. 2 cut down. Phil McCracken takes over.
That is just a Genji player who refuses to say die. It all sets up, by the way, by the Ana. As the anti-nade, this all starts back in that Graviton surge by Oblivion, a good grab that ends with 4 eliminations with Virtual Fox in the dying moments of that particular life, sends an anti down, and Phil McCracken absolutely feasts on those weak players. And that unlocks the first point here for West Foresight.
And that kind of moment can be a real momentum shifter too for the morale, right? Oh, Phil McCracken just killed 7 people in one team fight. All right, yeah. We can win this. We can do this. We're not getting full health. We're moving forward now. And even a nano to boot. Almost rid of actually 4 ults coming up for West Foresight. Already quite a bit of damage. Green Hope have to be pretty careful how they approach this corner. Really need to be respectful. Already the Gravitic Flux. Oh, that hits 3. The sound barrier has to be committed elsewhere. And I mean, a nano, is that going to be enough? A nice Immortality field. Gaming does get 1. A 4v3 currently in favor of Green Hope, but if West Foresight can turn this around, maybe with the use of this Valkyrie, then there's a little bit of hope still. There goes over Otaku, and Gaming is just unkillable in the front line. Oblivion is not able to do much, even with that high charge, even with the barriers. And the payload keeps moving. Yeah,
Oblivion is forced to kind of back out. This is what we've actually seen historically in this patch as what is good against the Zarya. It is the signal, right? Section off the fight 1 by 1. Don't allow the Zarya to really take advantage of their high energy. And West Foresight confidently moving forward. Another grab here by Oblivion. Is the follow-up damage there, though?
Oh, just barely. That railgun shot going through the Amp Matrix to get Elega. Otherwise, I don't think that was going to turn out so well for Green Hope. They have to commit very heavily. That's 3 of the best ults in the game that they use. And West Foresight make it bloody, but they don't get it.
They do, unfortunately, lose the payload right at the checkpoint, one of the hardest places to kind of contest once the payload gets here, because by the time this next team fight happens, right, the payload has moved back far enough that you can't back cap easily, and it's it's aggressive choke point that Green Hope has access to now. So high ground control on top of it all. I mean, if you're West Foresight, the thing that you kind of have to do here is just overexpend in this fight. You have to keep this checkpoint in this fight, because otherwise it's final fight territory and things have gone from bad to worse. So a must-win situation here for West Foresight.
Oblivion and Phil McCracken really have it out for each other. Playing up in that room is ridiculous, but Phil McCracken gets back behind. Now is the blade out and gets a second before finally falling. I mean, a Plor up on the high ground is difficult to deal with, so you can see West Foresight, even a player up, are hesitant on how to approach. They want to get rid of Oblivion, and a Gravitic Flux does it perfectly. Res shut down by the artillery strike, though, so it's not all super clear cut right now. Gaming trying to work down over Otaku, but with just Virtual Fox's backup, gotta protect the Ana, gotta protect your healer. This is a scrappy 2v2, but the respawns eventually are gonna favor Green Hope.
Yeah, and over Otaku does a great job of staying alive, displacing away the Ana long enough that elimination doesn't come through, sure, but that meant that Virtual Fox wasn't able to get as much healing into Gaming as they would have liked, and that just meant that that Plor could hold the front line, could hold on the objective until the reinforcements came. Now, speaking of reinforcements, Phil McCracken caught in a corner, can't be eliminated here, or else this map is over. Maybe perhaps an assassination, a flank pickup with a combo on a Junkrat. But man, what a tough place to be here for West Foresight. Last fight territory here on map number 2.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a Hail Mary. Artillery strike coming in for Elega. Where does that land? Some damage, sure, but actually just gives Oblivion a ton of charge, and there's the grab. Gaming now in a heap of trouble alongside Virtual Fox. Once the tank falls, it feels like the dominoes will collapse there afterwards, yeah. A valiant effort by West Foresight, some unbelievable plays, but Green Hope too solid, too stable. And this Zarya and Bastion, undefeatable it seems. 3 seconds remaining, and no one will get to the objective to trigger overtime. Green Hope up to 2 maps already. 1 more, and they'll move on.
And that makes match point theirs as they head into Flashpoint. We'll see what their selection is, but I mean, what a statement game from them on this second round. Plor once again the highlight earned from them in the play of the game. And I mean, look at that, staring down a Bastion to an Ant Matrix. Yeah, that's rough.
I really love the combo awareness of that team. They do a phenomenal job. We're gonna hop back over to the Myers Park and Gaston game. LaFawn and I are gonna see you guys in just a bit. Have fun on Midtown.
The payload has reached the checkpoint. Score 0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle. payload.
good.
60 seconds remaining.
Helden sterben nicht.
Welcome back, folks. I hope you had fun with Myers Park and Gaston map number 2. Now we're back to the main event. We got Green Hope once again. And it seems like things going pretty well for them at the very start. Actually, we have missed a solid chunk of this. Oh my, Green Hope are really close to winning. It's got to be a turnaround right here, right now for West Forsyth. At least they have control of the objective. That grab is going to be a thorn in their side, and they can't survive it, though. It's going to be a scramble to get back to the point, LaFawn.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for them. I mean, I don't even know that they make this reset. Who's their delayed player on this one? It's going to have to be the Lucio that touches, surely.
It's going to be a scramble, too. It's so difficult to even get there. 97, keep in mind, it's so quick. Oh, Rampage to try and make it, but no, not fast enough. Green Hope, in the blink of an eye, convert the 3-0 on New Junk City into a 3-0 for the series and move on here in the VESL bracket stage. Oblivion with the final play of the game. I mean, let's see it. I want to see this. That's just a nice lob in, and then the Graviton Surge, too.
A little bit of insult to injury in that one, it must be said, right? That was a no, you're not contesting this objective grab.
Yeah, no, yeah, very, very nice stuff there. Green Hope will move on into the next stage of the bracket. The bracket, yeah, there we go. The next stage of the bracket stage, LaFawn. Stage?
You gats. It's that stage backwards for all of you. And as well as it's an exclamation point of surprise, an old-timey way of it. Anyway,
I don't know enough about
it's with a
that.
D. It's with a D.
If
Anyway,
okay.
that's neither here nor
That
there.
makes more sense. Right.
That actually ends up being a 3-0 here for Hopewell. So that's going to be it for this particular series. We're not done yet, though. There's more action coming.
Oh, yeah.
As we kind of look to the future and see who is going to be the one that challenges to try and make it again to that LAN performance in January. So a lot still left to play for.
Yeah, plenty more teams coming to you, folks, right after a really quick break. Stick around. We are back, folks, with more of the VESL bracket stage here. Groups wrapped up yesterday. And now we get to see one more set, or actually probably two more sets of teams that will advance to the next stage of the bracket. Once again, it's myself possible, and that's the fun.
Hello.
Hello.
I got nothing. I'm sorry. I figured I'd say hi back. I could have stayed silent. We've had some exciting action already so far today, right? The games have been a little bit quick in terms of how quickly they've gone through. We've had only 3 O's here on the A stream, but the games have been entertaining nonetheless, right? I think we've seen a variety of different looks. I think we've seen every tank except for Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
And
we haven't seen Junker Queen today.
No, we did on that last map on.
Oh, you're right. It was
State.
just for a few seconds, but yeah, we did see Junker Queen. You are right. Yeah, no. So just not Wrecking Ball. What about DPS? How many DPS are we missing? Torbjorn, I don't think we've seen today. We did see yesterday, but I haven't seen today.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going into New Burn A versus wrong tab versus Southwest Edgecombe, it seems. Excited to see how this one plays out. We did see New Burn A bit yesterday. Script, Carrot, Vicious, Okigex, so they'll be familiar. Unfortunately, Southwest Edgecombe, it seems like we're unable to get all 5 of their players into the lobby in time, so they will be playing 4v5 momentarily. Hopefully they get that 5th sooner than 3. Yeah, I mean, as Night King gets thrown off the edge, yeah.
Oh, part two?
This has been what Script has just been doing, though. Like yesterday on the Roadhog was just nailing it. I mean, Lijiang Tower is a map where all the Roadhogs have been trying to go for these environmentals. Oh, nice little grab there, too.
Actually, that's a pick up onto Vicious is a big pick, right? Usually in a situation like this, it's tough to get any eliminations whatsoever. So to get one onto Vicious makes this pretty tough.
Is he going for a touchdown? Script? Oh, he just stands there at the side. That's just rude. Come on, man.
180 hooks like that are actually pretty tough to do these days. So.
Yeah. It's not quite as easy to get that spin fully around there. Whoop. Yeah, I mean, hey, now Corey's going for the touchdown. Oh, okay, not quite pulled off the map there either. And actually with an annihilation, New Burn, yeah, I mean, you guys deserve this, truly. Being mean.
Damn, you're gonna lose a 4v5. That's wild.
Oh,
New Burn gets a little overconfident, I think, and don't respect the power of the annihilation. So Edgecombe will take percentage, and they won't get a shot.
Actually, annihilation was the first ult to come up here.
Yeah,
New Burn haven't built to any of their ults. They've been memeing too much. All right, now they'll come back as 5 and try to work that player advantage. Yeah, there we go. Whole Hog immediately popped as well. Not super clear cut though. Taco, that Nemesis form is deadly, but eventually he will get chewed up by the Hog.
I mean, even still, New Burn A. No, you do not get to emote. You do not get to crouch spam. You nearly lost another 4v5.
Push him off the map. Push him off the map while emoting. No. Oh, okay.
Silent Storm, by the way, after using the Kitsune Rush, going to switch over to a Lucio. More environmentals, perhaps?
That's what I'd like to see from this. I'd actually like the percentage just keep going and all players to just play on coast and go for environmental kills.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they continue to play on coast like that, Afara would not be a bad idea.
Oh, brother. No environmentals this time.
All right, that's last fight territory now. New Burn A. This is more about what is expected, right? 4v5 is already very tough to begin with, so I expect.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah. I mean,
Script, what are you doing up there? What the Hog doing? Oh, okay, I thought he fell off the map for a second. That was weird. No, it should have. Yeah, honorable 4v5 for the last bit. No, instead it's 100% for New Burn A to start us off.
I think the big thing there is that Taco was able to get that one fight win, right? Off the back of the annihilation. Gotta give a lot of credit to that one, I think.
And we are actually going to swap back over to our Gaston versus Myers Park game there on map number 3. And it seems to be that Myers Park trying to hold on here. a little bit tough. Not surf. I mean, it's 99% for them. If they could convert here, they'd at least survive the map or the round. But instead, what a beautiful Riptire. And that's going to be the percentage over for Gaston. And if they win this point, they'll win the series.
Yeah, that was a no fear Riptire, by the way. Chu was like 10 HP when they activated it. So really big start there. That being said, I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover here for Gaston. And no real resources to do so either, right? So still a very winnable round point, I suppose, more correctly.
Yeah, we'll see if Myers Park are able to get in here. I mean, they will have the Valkyrie soon. Not too many resources for them either. I mean, maybe a damage-boosted Nemesis form can find some picks, but Nemesis form already being used, actually, trying to chase Eruption Sand, and shoved off the map. That's not what Myers Park wanted at all, and they're losing more, 75%. Even the touch is going to be tricky at this point.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, now it's just done and dusted, right? You have to use Valkyrie, I think, to touch, but you have 10% left. You need to get to you need your Mercy to stay alive here. 94.
I mean, even getting to the objective, I don't think is going to be possible. The Valkyrie actually might be able to trigger the overtime now. Was that the life grip bringing the Valkyrie back?
Yes.
Oopsie. I don't think they were getting there anyways, folks.
No,
but unfortunate stuff. Great stuff though for Gaston early. They're going to be able to get up 3-0. Congratulations to them for moving to the next stage of the bracket.
Here's that note.
Let's see that Riptire. 21 HP. And just whoop right into the middle. The Junkrats we've been seeing in VESL have had no fear. They go straight for the point-blank Riptires.
All right, we head back into our first game though.
Newburn, unsurprisingly. I mean, with an extra player. Doing all right, it seems. Man, Script is still going for environmentals, even on Control Center.
You know what? I respect it. At this point, like, you just go to the other side of the map, right? Don't fight the road.
I mean, Tac Visor's out now for Night King. Temper Boy's actually just duo beating there, using the sound barrier for just himself and Okagex. But I don't think there's much of a way in here. Hook off the map. Nope, Script doesn't get it. I'd like to see Script pushed off the map. He's playing too close to the red line for my tastes. Get back.
Yeah, where's the Pharah? Where's the Lucio? Where's the Greg?
Oh my.
Doomfist actually would be pretty good too.
Doomfist would be a good one, actually. Actually, Doomfist would just send Script off the map in that scenario entirely, right?
Yeah.
And instead, it's going to be Vicious. Well, Vicious, the adjective, not necessarily the player, but the player as well. Newburn with a Lijiang win.
Alrighty. Off to a start for sure.
Off to a we had a 5v4 start. Yeah, no, I'd agree. Taco with the play of the game. Let's go. That's the real win right there. Yeah, come on, let's see it. Ooh. Oh yeah, this was that annihilation that turned. Nice stuff.
Hero of the Light title too, so they finished the that mode on Legendary, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's not one of the Battle Pass ones.
No.
Nice.
It's a good mode.
Dedicated player.
Well, I mean, I can say it's actually a really fun mode too. As someone who's gone on the Legendary one as well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Right,
I mean,
map number 2.
Yeah, map 2 gonna be coming up here. Hopefully, we'll see 5 players for Southwest. Otherwise, it might be a bit of a quick match, unfortunately. We do have other games, I believe, that we got going on for our 8 o'clock block here, and of course, we have tons of action over on the B stream, as well as more action tomorrow too. Yeah, we're gonna be heading into Concord versus Reedsville in just a second. We're just waiting on that game to start up.
Yeah, this is one of the things. I mean, we've gotten so much action. Like we've seen on this stream like 6 games already. I think something like that.
I think we're going into our 6th. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the other thing too is that no game has played out the same either. Score-wise, they have, yes, but in terms of style, I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of different looks. I think we've had Dive, right? That especially spearheaded by Golden Eagle in that first game. We had Rush, obviously, that's been very popular.
Yeah.
A little bit of Poke here and there, and then sometimes we've even gotten like some of those hybrid styles, the ones based around the Zarya, some that are based around Sigma. So it's been a very varied days yet, and that's actually really impressive to me.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a compositional smorgasbord. Again, we just need that wrecking ball. Just need the wrecking ball to get in there and make sure.
Actually, yeah, that
all
strikes
the
me. When is the last time we've seen this many tanks played, right? I mean, if you look at the other worlds, it's a little bit tougher, right? If you look, especially if you look at like DPS, it's unlikely that you're ever going to see all of them viable at once or played in one tournament. But to have these many tanks played, and I think to have them have success is impressive in its own right? So continue looking forward to that. We also, look at the support line. Weirdly enough, the support line has been the least flexible today. Right?
True.
Or I shouldn't say least flexible, the least varied in its approach.
Let's see. We haven't seen Echo today.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Torbjorn today. I think that's actually it. May. I don't think we've seen May today. Or Farah, actually.
Yeah.
But we have seen all of those picks over the course of this week.
Yeah.
So we have seen all DPS or all of the damage characters at some point this week. So that's exciting at the very least. Actually, we've seen every single character this week except Wrecking Ball. We just haven't seen Wrecking Ball.
You saw it
at least on the A stream. Huh?
Iliari as well?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of Iliari.
Okay.
We saw some today.
That's right. We did.
Yeah.
Reedsville,
now
by the
moving
way,
on
the
into
party of
Concord
turtles.
versus Reedsville, folks. This is a 5v5. This should be a good one. Oh, that's a lot of damage already down on... Wait, they're all turtles.
Yeah.
They're all turtles.
That's why I said
Reedsville.
That's
we
why I
got
said
quirky,
Reedsville's the
shaken,
party of
magic,
turtles.
clever, and lazy. What is this? An off-brand Spice Girls?
Maybe the Spice Girls are an off-brand turtle group,
I actually wonder... Spice Girls might be a dated reference for high schoolers right now, LaFawn. There's a very real chance no one knows what we're talking about.
Annihilation, by the way, and Lazy Turtle using the Valkyrie as the first two ults of the game. That's really impressive. So
the Annihilation does run its course, though, so Concord won't be able to hold on to this objective much longer. Still 40% for them, though.
And the fact that they get that first percentage is the big one, right? And they force Reedsville to actually commit to using resources. So, it's a pretty decent place to be. For Reedsville, I mean, you got to have this pickup, right? Like, one of the things is once Concord gets in onto the objective, things are going to get really, really tough for the Widowmaker. Clever Turtle. Unfortunately, waving at Black Cat Cough.
It's a little bit of disrespect when you just sidestep back and forth in front of a Widowmaker, right? Nemesis form used pretty early here too by Ayod Sean. Oh, Ayo Deshawn, that's probably what it is. Black Cat Cough gonna be down for the moment. Concord, I think are gonna get that res. Yep, there it goes. Comes right on through. This is a pile of players right here. That was potentially a lot of splash damage, but Ayo Deshawn not able to find it, unfortunately. So Concord, stay back for now.
Also, wow, what a cheap fight from Reedsville, especially because Lady Yuki uses the Valkyrie, right? Yeah. Wait, Hero 95, back up! You guys have to reset. Why are we still fighting?
Oh, on the Gravitic Flux too. That makes things dicey. Goodbye, Death Blossom thrown in for the full reset. I mean, hey, if Concord aren't gonna reset, Reedsville will make them.
What a fight from Reedsville. Good recognition, by the way, to actually catch those respawners. So that delays that fight even more. So now it's final fight territory. I will say Reedsville did invest a lot into that. So they just have the Tree of Life left here in the back pocket. We'll see how well that holds up to the wealth that Concord is bringing to bear.
Ooh, almost that shot there. Oh. There we go. Double body shot will make it do. Another annihilation here, but Concord, yeah, I mean, they're struggling to pin anyone down. Ayo Deshawn has good point presence, and that Annihilation's lasted a while, but even against Quirky Turtle, I mean, that Tree of Life just provides too much sustain. There's no way to turn that. And 100 to 40 to start us off on Busan.
Wow, I mean, Reedsville, good pickup from them, recognizing the respawns are coming in, right? I had one fight where the Gravitic Flux was used into the Death Blossom. I mean, sometimes a good play by Reedsville, recognizing when your opponent has made a mistake and punishing it is like a big part of being competitive. Mm-hmm. And you never want to say that a team is succeeding because the opposing side is playing poorly, because that's not really how it works. But when someone does make a mistake, capitalizing on it is a big part of being a good team. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's you have to give credit to Reedsville for seeing that opportunity and making the most of it.
Yeah, it's that next level, right? Of not just thinking about what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, but what the enemy team should be doing and trying to accomplish. And if they're not going to do the optimal strategy, punishing them for it is an excellent way to give yourselves even more momentum. Now Reedsville seems like a slight adjustment as they come out onto this map, but not too much of a change. Concord, on the other hand, they're going to sub out that Mercy. I think going to the Moira is an excellent call. It's going to give AO Deshaun much more breathing room. Already putting quite a bit of damage down. Shaken Turtle. Ooh, Quirky Turtle. Nope, can't get away. Oh, no way this res gets off cleanly. No way. Oh, that's got to be punished. Good work, though, from Lazy. Unfortunately, though, yeah, Shaken and Lazy not going to be able to survive that one. A life grip actually just kind of delays the inevitable for Quirky, it seems.
I like this from Concord, by the way, playing out of line of sight of the Widowmaker, so they don't give an opportunity for that free, from the free damage coming in and off angle. That just makes it a 4v5, right, for Concord, and Quirky Turtle and company can't pick up the slack. So, we just praised Reedsville for this, but Concord right on the right back on the second round does the same thing where they recognize their opponent just a little out of position, take advantage of it, and they make good on their first progress. Really, first real progress to giving themselves an opportunity in this round.
Concord with a solid start here. Reedsville coming back on in. They need to keep Quirky alive. Okay, good work, and that's a nice energy javelin too. Sound barrier laid out, though, and Shaken Turtle once again falls pretty early in the fight, and that makes it way too difficult for Reedsville to step forward.
Yeah, another good read from Concord. And Reedsville
Another cheap fight, too.
Yeah, very cheap. They just use a sound barrier. I will also say Reedsville has made a change where they've gone over to the Hanzo here, just trying to get a little bit more front-loaded damage with the team. But Concord are not giving them time to set up, right? And that's the big thing. Using this first rotation that Concord has between the Bastion and the Ramatra to get a ton of value.
Neon down immediately too means the Coalescence has to be popped to try and keep Concord in the mix, but is that even going to be enough? 2 down, a 5v3 and a Terra Surge. Okay, Terra Surge doesn't quite deal the damage you were hoping for, but a quick flip as Concord can't keep their toes on the objective. Now with an Annihilation out, can he catch one more? Yes, the res coming through, but will it actually be enough here? Reedsville taking so much damage, especially with a Death Blossom thrown into the mix, and Quirky Turtle's own ultimate is far less successful.
And I really like that from Concord because Reedsville felt like they'd won that fight, right? So they kind of let off in terms of the aggression from that one. And instead, Concord recognized that they are in a better position. They go for the Annihilation. It also means that this is the last fight. Someone needs to touch the objective. It's going to be haphazard at best. And Clever Turtle, I don't know that he even gets there.
I mean, just barely Quirky Turtle will, but again, Clever Turtle smashed into pulp by AO Deshaun. I mean, it's back and forth a little bit here, but one team still has damage standing. And unless Shaken Turtle is able to do something miraculous, put down either AO Deshaun or one of the supports, it doesn't feel long for this world right now. 99% for quite a while, although it's taken a minute for Concord to convert this. Eventually, they'll get rid of Shaken Turtle, and that should spell the beginning of the end here on Sanctuary. Dragon Strike, I mean, it's still back and forth, LaFawn. Surely Concord convert this.
Oh, with Lazy Turtle going down, I mean, it's just Quirky Turtle in contest.
There we go.
No, and that'll be it. So steps off the point to chase a kill, and instead will be eliminated for their trouble. So round 2 goes to Concord, and we're even 1 apiece as we head to the tiebreaker round on Busan.
Yeah, interesting to see who will end up shaping up on this third round. Both rounds that each Concord and Reedsville won were relatively one-sided, right? Like once one team had firm control, they didn't really give it up.
Yeah.
But I guess you can't predict everything.
Well, what that tells me is that getting first control in a first fight is of vast importance. So we'll take a look at how this goes in this first opening skirmish and what the cooldown rotation is going to be, right? That first set of cooldowns ends up being so vastly important now, considering how those first 2 rounds kind of played out. So for for Concord, it's going to be around again that Nemesis and the configuration for the Bastion. Reedsville, they have a lot more room to kind of work with, but that is so much damage.
That's so much damage. It's a miracle that nobody from Reedsville falls there. Quirky Turtle, yeah, leaping up to the high ground to get away from that one. Reedsville, okay, eventually, yeah, will get hunted down. Hard for them to really regroup after all of that splash damage. Clever Turtle does get one under Neon, but yeah, no, AO Deshawn will pick that up and get the cap for the team. So Concord off to a good start.
I will say, though, that Concord does not have a lot of healing, right? So the longer fights go, the more it's going to favor Reedsville, and that is the window that Reedsville really needs to play for. Survive until Concord run out of resources, essentially, is kind of the name of the game. I'm obviously talking, about those two cooldowns from the tank and from Bastion, but then you got to consider the Zen and Lucio as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Already a solid pick, too, by Lady Yuki that forces out the Resurrect. At least Reedsville are in a position where they can get that res off without a hitch. It doesn't cost them any time. Oh, but then Clever Turtle dies again. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. Discord Orb on Shaken Turtle, too. I mean, that makes his life really difficult, even with the Mercy trying to go for the pocket. You can see the rest of Concord, they're really just surrounding Shaken Turtle on the objective while AO Deshawn goes up and then comes back to clean everybody up with the Annihilation.
Yeah, that's going to be, half the round. Out of all that, Magic Turtle survives. That's incredible. Alrighty.
All right, ult's coming up here for Reedsville. This has kind of got to be the fight where they turn things around if they don't want to lose map 1.
Yeah, the big thing, though, is the Transcendence is in tow from Lady Yuki, right? This is where all those ults from Reedsville, it's going to have to be about burst damage, and unfortunately, the Riptire's not quite up yet, so Lady Yuki can really play counter to everything Reedsville wants to do.
Oh, and Clever Turtle trying to assassinate Hero 985, but couldn't land enough damage to proc half health, get the focusing beam in. That's the burst you really have to go for. Quirky Turtle getting rid of AO Deshawn, though. That gives an opening over to Reedsville, one that they are trying to capitalize on. Lady Yuki good for one pick and still has Transcendence if you really want to use it. I think it might be better saved, especially since the res has come through. And Lady Yuki even survives. This is going to be a quick regroup.
This is going to be a very quick regroup, and you've got both support ultimates. Now for Concord, it's not about making sure you don't layer them, realistically.
Already the overclock. Okay, Transcendence. Okay, to try and keep the overclock alive and punish Quirky Turtle, who was up a bit too close and personal. Black Cat is struggling to find much value with the overclock, but the pressure of it alone alongside the Transcendence is enough. And Concord already back here, already at 91%. It's not looking good for Reedsville.
Yeah, and the tail end of that Transcendence, Lady Yuki gets 2 eliminations as well. Clever Turtle, there's no way to even touch, and I do not believe there will be an overtime. Nope, indeed not. Concord, what a run, what a turn back from them, right, to get that that map back as they lose the opening round and then take the last 2. So really tremendous stuff from them as they'll take the early lead in the series.
AO Deshawn, a phenomenal job on this Ramatra. The Ramatra was the difference maker. There were so many fights, where the Annihilation comes out and AO Deshawn just destroys the entire enemy team. No answer for that ability. Great stuff from AO Deshawn and the rest. They're already up to 1-0. And if today's trending is all 3-0s, then they're in a good spot to take the series potentially.
They are. I don't think this is going to be a 3. I think this is a much closer game
it does look
than
closer.
The ones we've seen. Like it looks like there is an opportunity here for the return, for the evening up of the series. So I wouldn't count this one as a done and dusted yet. Concord have a lot of room to still kind of play through. So we'll see how well they do in maps 2 and beyond.
Yeah, Reedsville did not look lost in that series, right? There were some times where they couldn't quite deal with the Ramatra. I think going into future maps, they're definitely going to need an answer for it. What that comes down to is sort of up to what they feel like they can play. The Orisa on paper can be a counter to the Ramatra, but you need a very kind of front to back sort of team fight, right? Yeah. You need the Orisa in the front, constantly controlling the Ramatra, using the Javelin spin to completely deny Nemesis form, and then the energy Javelin as well to sort of back that Ramatra up. It's a very control-based style. It's about denying the Ramatra rather than, killing the rest of the team.
And we'll see how well they're able to evolve into that, right? That's really going to be the question as they kind of finish up map 1 and get set to go into map the hybrid, and then on from there we'll see how that goes. I will also say map does play a huge part of it, right? Ramatra,
Absolutely.
a lot of maps where there's high ground to kind of get to, where you need like really complicated rotations, those can be really tough. So I'm thinking places like Midtown, right? That's obviously a very difficult one for the Ramatra to assail. So yeah, keep that in mind as being an opportunity for them. With that being said, we're going to head back in to our second map. And actually, impressively, 2 whole points captured by our
4v5. Man, that is insane to see. I mean, Newburn now celebrating, but we'll see if that celebration actually lasts.
All right, quick changes from Edgecombe as well. By the way, with that 2 points being captured, it means they got into 3rd, right? That's not a... Now you can see the golden box of victory.
I mean, now Newburn trying to take some space here. But it seems like LaFawn and I will be going to a quick break for ourselves while you guys get to see how Newburn possibly convert this map.
Be nourished. Neutralizing projectiles.
Eyes open.
Something for the state.
Initiating defense matrix.
Welcome back, folks. We've got some more Overwatch for you. Plenty more Overwatch, not just today, but also tomorrow. Don't forget that. Tomorrow is when the bracket stage wraps up. Tomorrow is when we figure out who all the teams that actually get to go to their regional lands in January will be. So that's very exciting. It's myself, Possible, one more time with LaFawn, and I believe we are about to head into North Mech versus Sun Valley. We already one map in on that game, and it seems like Sun Valley started off strong.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, usually we use control as sort of the litmus test for identifying, patterns and sort of decisions that are going to be made in the map. We are going to head into hybrid, which plays a lot differently, but it also means that drawing conclusions can be difficult because of how the map plays out, right? On control, it's right into the thick of things. We know right away from Fight 1 kind of how teams like to play. Hybrid, it's a little bit more of a slow burn, an opportunity, times you have to kind of are forced to stage due to the nature, the design of the choke points and maps. And, sometimes a team can be very explosive, but, it takes a second or two to kind of warm up to it. So we'll have to see how they adapt once we get into hybrid.
Yeah, and which hybrid map we go to is also exceedingly important, right? We've seen Eichenwald, we've seen the Blizzard World, Midtown, Kings Row, all this week. So which map we go to often plays into it. Sometimes in VESL this week, it hasn't had the highest bearing, but as we're into Midtown, Sun Valley starting off on the defense here. North Mech attacking. Oh, fatalities. Doomfist was one of those Doomfists. Let's see if he can keep it going. Map 1 didn't go so well.
Yeah, I also say we have a Torbjorn too, so that's another new hero into the mix of things.
There we go. Hey, all we need is, I think, Farah today, and we'll get all the DPS. May is in as well now too, so that's most of them.
Yeah, there was a Farah on Kings Row, right? So.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so actually, that's all the DPS that we've seen now. We literally just need to see the Wrecking Ball. Someone pull it out for 2 seconds to get back to the point somehow. All right. Anyway, Sun Valley doing good on this first point to put this first attack to bed.
That was an exploratory virus sent out there by Light. You
can afford to do that with the virus, right? It's not that long of a cooldown.
No, yeah, it's perfect. It was just kind of funny the method. By the way, a character that's been reworked as of this season.
Yep. Yeah, that we've seen quite a few players still getting used to the new translocator this week. So I'll have to keep an eye on Light and make sure that they are able to disengage from these easily. Actually, the virus as a tactic to help take down the pylon. I really like that decision there from Light. That makes it more difficult for North Mech to approach at all. And they're trying to go through the train car too. That's tough to do with the Doomfist. Light already behind. Nice lob of the virus there. Not able to do much more than that. Oh, going over the top. That's pretty bold. All right. Lots of damage sunk in, though, and nice pickup on Trifo. Really well played by Light in this fight.
And, that Meteor Strike is only going to get the pylon, so it's actually going to be just a single elimination onto balls at the end of that one. And this has been a slow defense for Sun Valley. They haven't actually taken a ton of fights. It's only the second fight of this setup. So Sun Valley did a great job of bringing this game to a bit of a standstill as North Mech invest and don't really get much of anything.
And they have less than 90 seconds, just 1:20 on North Mech's clock. Thankfully, they are coming up to some very powerful ultimates. Tree of Life is a great opener. Captive Sun, Blizzard. You just give them no choice on where to stand. But if this EM's out, that's a lot of damage. The healing pylon soaking up some of the virus there. But even still, Light is just ruining the backline's day. The Tree of Life being committed now. EMP doesn't cancel the Tree of Life, though. It's still hard to find these picks. And Light's going to find that out the hard way.
Yeah, that was changed a while back, actually. And so the eliminations don't come through onto Sun Valley's side. I think Light is actually caught out. Yeah, not going to be able to survive in that one. And so in the final hour,
impossible to contest.
Yeah, in the final hour, North Mech will actually get the objective and add 3 minutes to the time bank. So bit of a reset. Light, now done with that, is going to switch over to a Reaper. Keep in mind, that was actually pretty cheap for North Mech, right? An ultimate that builds very quickly in the Tree of Life and then the Blizzard. So at the expense, I believe Pog also uses the Gravitic Flux. From Sun Valley's side. So it's, a lot being brought up by Sun Valley.
Ooh, that was a nice accretion from Pog.
And denies the Captive Sun.
And the eat on the Captive Sun. That's a hot meal, and one that Pog is very, very glad to have.
Makes you wonder, what's the caloric
The caloric intake of eating a captive sun?
Yeah.
Probably very high.
I saw sometime someone said what the theoretical, calorie requirement or thing of the sun would be, like the actual sun. It's obviously hypothetical. You can't eat.
Sure. Please don't eat the sun for anyone at home. Not that I think you'd ever have the chance. This is a really aggressive position by Light, and I mean, when him and Pog team up, it is impossible for Northmax to get through that tiny corridor. Yeah, nothing you can do there. Maybe this pick on Light comes through, but even if it does, fatality's staggered. Minute 45 left.
Yeah. Another great accretion by Pog. Actually, Pog opens up with a grid accretion and then closes out the fight with one as well. So another ultless fight from Sun Valley here. As they now are going to have 5 check marks. For
5 in the tank is tough, man. Unless Northmac get a couple of really nice picks. That was so much damage. Jasanshi didn't know what hit them. I mean, Fatality is trying to use the Meteor Strike to stay alive. Caught in the Gravitic Flux. That's more than enough damage. Yeah. 2 ults invested there by Sun Valley, but just 60 seconds remain. Make it 3 ults and 3 kills to pair with it. Light is a monster, and I don't think this Blizzard's gonna accomplish much of anything.
And not only does it not accomplish any eliminations, they get a stagger kill onto the Mei as well. So, I mean, you've just got the overclock for what is going to be, essentially last fight. I mean, that's gonna be a really coupled with Blue Beam. Maybe you might be able to get insta kills. That's really what you're looking for. Still, I mean, Captive Sun, a window so aggressive here by the Baptiste of Sun Valley. They can't even poke their way through. 30 seconds left. It feels like it's kind of grinding to the end of the round.
I mean, that Ant Matrix just forces Northmac's hand, right? They have to go for the other rotation, and they have to group up. Oh, my word, the Captive Sun! Oh, yeah, if that doesn't get eaten, it is rather explosive. Yeah, not very fun for Northmac, and now 15 seconds remaining. I mean, a desperate scramble for the objective, but not one favorable for Northmac at all. Sun Valley, just the one stumble on this map, really. The one fight loss, and everything else pretty picture perfect. Ooh, Jasanshi? Is that in range?
No.
Oh, no.
Just barely not far enough for the contest, and that's going to be a full, a hold at the gates of the second objective. So 1 point captured by Northmac. It's technically winnable. Sun Valley, I mean, a clean fight to open up A, and, that kind of falls apart. So, I mean, it's
Northmac just need a full hold. Easy.
For Northmac here.
just full hold. Forehead?
Just full hold.
Yeah, just full hold.
Me to my ranked teammates after we have miserably failed to capture anything.
No, me to me when I play ranked.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. I'm really loving how Light has been playing. I mean,
yeah.
Even though that one fight was a little bit tricky, like the EMP is not ideal going into the Tree of Life, sure, but like just the value that Light has been getting in the neutral a lot of the times is even more impressive than the ultimates.
I mean, the truth is that the ults that Light has been working with aren't very strong. In the case of Death Blossom, a lot of setup is required, or like positioning, which to Light's credit, I mean the tight corridors of the entry to second makes good use of it. So that was where we saw the Death Blossom really pop off. But EMP is just not a good ultimate at this stage of the game in terms of finding it. So it's all about the neutral game. And the truth is, you play in the neutral a lot more frequently than you play with ultimates. So if you have a good neutral game, you're going to win more often than not.
Northmac have to get something done in their neutral game on this defense. They can't afford to fall over right here because that would basically be the map. And that would end up being close to the series. Already 2 gone. A life grip to try and stave off the death of O-Fatalities. It takes down Light, but the rest of this fight is confidently the Sun Valley's.
And now, I mean, you're looking for a recontest here if you're Northmac. Well, not a recontest. You're looking to try and just like stop the objective from kind of advancing at all. If they try and contest here and get picked off, it's going to be disastrous. So they'll hold at the gate instead.
Oh, Jasanji? Back up,
Uh-oh,
please.
uh-oh.
Oh, Light gets the clean up. I mean, Lucio will be back quickly at the very least, but Northmec cannot afford to lose anyone else in the meantime. They got to hold on for at least another 15 seconds. 2 falls, and Sun Valley are not to be stopped. First they eat the sun, now they are the sun. And I mean, they will burn right through Northmec. Unbelievable pace and a quick 2-0 start to the series.
Well, full hold was not found. So,
yeah, that's usually how my ranked games go too. Hey guys, we just need a full hold. Oh, well, I did. Oof, lost that very quickly. Jasanji, at least with the play of the game, is a consolation prize. I mean, we did see Jasanji yesterday doing a lot of really solid work on the main. I mean, this Blizzard is clearly what opened the gate for that first point cap.
Yeah. It's now about making sure that that fight happens, earlier in the round, right? That's going to be really the difference maker. We go on board now with...
Yeah, we're back to Concord and Reedsville here.
Yep.
And first round's done. Reedsville, not half a bad push for them, but very winnable for Concord as well, who, reminder, won the first map.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, though. Like that looked like a very competitive round. 2.5 points, essentially, on Kings Row. This is not unwinnable for Reedsville at this stage, right? Concord still would have to put up a confident attack. And hey, if you get a slow first point, right? If that A attack ends up being gummed up because you can't quite string together a couple of good alt fights in a row, all of a sudden, even if you do get the capture, second becomes a panic. And if you can't quite get it done there, time runs out on third. So it's not unwinnable here to try and even up the series.
I'm crossing my fingers for our first 1-1 start to a series today. Give me a series that doesn't go 3 maps. I believe in you, Reedsville. Solid defense is all you need. I like this too. I love when teams use the Sigma and the Ashe in tandem on first point defense. Yeah. Especially with a pocket for Magic Turtle, that can be very deadly.
I mean, there's a lot of damage here, right? Like the Zen, the Mercy, if a headshot with a blue beam here basically takes out, and if they have the Discord orb, right, it takes out the 200 HP targets. I believe it's a headshot body shot for the 250 HP target. So
that sounds right.
If you're not careful, you can really be put down quick. So you have.
It's going to be all about surviving the configuration assault for Reedsville. Once that Bastion pulls out the wheels, you cannot afford to be caught. Clever Turtle does have to disengage for a moment. Yeah, I mean, wow. Black Cat just TPing right up in their face.
Yeah, that was by the way, that was Ashe without any pocket, right? The Mercy's playing on the back line here. Ooh. That's a lot of respect that is, I think, a little unearned on the Ashe's side.
Oh, Magic Turtle falling too. Shaken get rid of Hero. That's arguably worth it, or it would be, if the rest of the defense for Reedsville was able to stabilize here. Nicely timed Nemesis form for Ayo Deshawn is going to keep this snowball rolling. Concord not looking to be stopped here, and now Shaken Turtle has to disengage. Can he even do so fast enough? I mean, the shield comes up, blocks the accretion, and now Shaken Turtle's like, well, might as well try and die on the objective by an extra 1.5 seconds, but a pretty quick cap for Concord.
Yeah, this is I think the disaster territory for Concord, right? This is where, or sorry, for Reedsville. Concord getting that first cap so quick means that they have a lot of time here on second to make mistakes, and Concord hasn't actually made a ton of them. So that's even more cause for worry. Reedsville, now they actually switch over to giving the blue beam to the Ashe. Clever Turtle becomes a genuine threat here. Keep in mind, if the Ashe is by herself without that support line backing her up, not actually that scary, because you have to chain 2 headshots in a row against something like a Reaper, right? So I think this makes a lot more sense, putting the Mercy with the Ashe in this fight.
Absolutely. Concord nearing some ultimates as well. If that Annihilation comes out, I'm a little bit worried for Reedsville. They've already used their Immortality field too, and here comes the Nemesis form. Nemesis form into Annihilation would be pretty nasty. Ayo Deshawn needs to stay alive. Round the corner. Yep, and now here comes the barrage. A Gravitic Flux to try and slow the roll. Ayo Deshawn in the backline regardless. But a couple of picks. I mean, back and forth here. It's not unwinnable. Photon Barrier up now, so it's only Ayo Deshawn who can deal damage through it for Concord. Eventually gets Lazy Turtle, needs to survive, needs to peel back. The power block, not gonna come through, but just barely limps over to the health pack.
Oh, now that being said, I mean, this is actually still going to be really threatening. The Resurrect comes in, yes, but is that going to be enough? Keep in mind, the Kinetic Grasp does not block the power punches.
Yeah, I mean, AO Deshaun is relentless. Left, right, good night, it seems, for Reedsville right now. Ooh, and Magic Turtle can't afford to fall. They need that healing right now, Reedsville. Already the Immortality Field gone. At least Shaken Turtle denying some of the value off of that configuration assault. Here comes the artillery. Will it land on any valuable targets? Well, Cricket Turtle dies to the skill orb either way. And without that without that Baptiste rather healing, even with them back in the fight after the resurrection, it's just too much damage. It's too much to withstand. And Concord are gonna have almost 5 minutes to get 35 meters.
Yeah, this is looking real rough for them. And I mean, even with that being said, like some changes come in here for Reedsville. There is still the Blizzard, right? So I mean, the Gravitic Flux is going to be comboed likely with the Ant Matrix. Even with that, how do you burn through quickly enough and then buy time? Because Black Cat Cough, slip into the back line with the with the Death Blossom. All of a sudden, this is going to be the end of the map.
Amplification Matrix has to be a difference maker here.
Oh,
Nice
no.
anti-nade. AO Deshaun. Oh, no. Oh, that fight was looking good too. Anti came through on AO Deshaun, had to pull up the block. I was thinking, Nemesis Form isn't going to get as much value. There's room in the fight for Reedsville. But our good old friend Charlie pulls out a 9er. And it's unfortunate days. 2-0 now for Concord. All they need is one more map.
Yeah, I really love when Sigmas use their head as the landing ground for Gravitic Fluxes. The transition right back in, by the way.
No downtime for us, folks. Back to see if Sun Valley can get it done. They're already 2-0 up. Speaking of 2, another roll swap here for North Mech. 2 on the Reinhardt. I think this is the first time we've seen this on stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, O Fatalities was playing the Reinhardt 2 in the last map, if I'm not mistaken.
Ryan and Doomfist, yeah.
Yeah, and switches over to a Soldier now. Light picks up right where they left off on Midtown. 3 more kills.
And you can see how unfortunate that initial tank matchup was for 2 as well.
Yeah.
I hate playing the Reinhardt into the Junker Queen. Like the cleave
Wrecking
through.
ball.
Oh, we got every hero has been played. Let's go. Thank you, 2, for your service. Even if you guys don't win the map, you've won my heart.
That is now every hero in Overwatch played here at VESL.
I think that's every hero played today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe so as well.
Shout out. I love seeing the diverse compositions and strategies from these high school players. Not afraid to try anything.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Nice little 360 there from Pog.
Hey, might as well have some fun, right? That's the whole point of these games anyways. 2 going for a little bit of an entry here. Doesn't quite get the air needed to successfully land that pile driver, and now we'll have to regroup.
So much damage onto 2.
Man, just-
2 cannot. Well, yeah, that's it. Light is not letting the Wrecking Ball play.
That was a traffic stop. That Light just pulled off. It's like, hey, you can't pass here. Can't collect $200. No going for you. Instead, it's going straight back to spawn.
And that's going to be the round. That's going to be the point actually just given over immediately. Even if 2 comes back, yeah, there's no way.
Good start for Sun Valley. Already up 1 point here. 2 more, and they will collect not only the map, but the series and move on to the next part of the bracket stage. And Light's got a Death Blossom, too. I mean, we saw how deadly Light was with these on Midtown.
I will say these corridors a little less, easy to set up the Reaper, but
That's what I was thinking.
the thing is, if you play in this tight corridor, yes, if you play ahead of the point, the Death Blossom can actually find value. Light recognizing that is going to push forward a little bit.
I mean, if nothing else, this is annoying, right?
Yeah.
North Mech, they have to keep that in mind as they push toward the objective, that Light could be hanging around in that room, or even TP to that room behind them, potentially. But Light will back off for the moment. And only now, actually, the point gets capped. Unfortunately, O Fatalities does fall down, so that TAC Visor is not going to come into play for this fight, and that was one of the big win conditions that North Mech had. Instead, Jasanchi falling over too. And it's business as usual for Sun Valley.
Yeah, I believe Light has now gotten 80% of all final blows of their team on this map.
Oh, hang on. Sound barrier used, but Pog still falls. Oh, okay. Well, 80% is climbing. Make it 83%, I suppose.
I mean, halfway through this point as well, and Vader playing a gatekeeper to O Fatalities, who tries to look for a tactical visor.
Oh, fatalities. Bro, you're the only one there. Okay, gets away. Maybe not gets away. Okay, Vader's trying to chase him down. That soldier head to head. I mean, it is one of those characters where if you see the mirror on the other side, you have to go for it, right? But instead it's Pog not only shutting down no fatalities, but also the tac visor and really just carving through this fight. Second point already. Sun Valley are wasting no time.
Yeah, now they are 1 round away from closing out this in a 3-0. Actually, North Mech all head to the new objective, but a bit split, right? Keep in mind, those respawns were coming in, so I don't know that they'll all collect themselves in time. Yeah, they're actually caught out. That's the Valkyrie Force from Jisanchi.
Man, this is tough. Hard to find a way into this fight. I mean, Jisanchi, I understand using the Valkyrie there. You just have to survive. You can't afford to give over first cap again. These points go by so quickly.
Yeah, 2 is, I think, setting up here, trying to use a minefield to hold the objective down.
I like the idea.
Before the first fight.
Again, not quite the air you would hope for from a Wrecking Ball, and oh, not quite the life you would hope for either. I mean, at least the minefield prevents the rest of Sun Valley from pushing out of that choke and actually gives room for the resurrection. But with Jisanchi falling in 2 so low, this is starting to look like the beginning of the end. North Mech, I don't see a way in right now.
No, not at all. They have to kind of reset here. And the problem is that North Mech, you know, they don't really have anything. Sun Valley still have tools in the back pocket. And, I mean, the points
Love this decision.
Already.
Love the decision from Sun Valley. They wait as long as possible. They're like, okay, now Jisanchi should be coming back, but isn't back yet. They push out of the objective and punish the 4v5 North Mech, who is still hanging around.
And it's about to become a 3v5. There's another elimination onto Trivo. Yep. And with that, I mean, you force final fight. Sun Valley have successfully set up North Mech for a haphazard approach in the final moments, and Sun Valley have the tools. North Mech have nothing. It's all about pressing the Q buttons here for Sun Valley. And
I mean, yeah,
forward.
The discipline in that last fight, too, to use no ultimates. Now you get to throw in the Rampage! Catches all 5! Oh my! You don't even need any of the other alts. Just the Junker Queen spinning to win. Soaring through the air. And Sun Valley's looking mighty pretty this day. An excellent 3-0 for them.
Yeah, what a statement final fight from Sun Valley. Pog will get play of the game, but I mean, this was a team effort here from them.
I mean, it better be that Rampage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
5, right? That's just incredible.
5's crazy. Insane value there. And man, when you hit all 5 in the Rampage and then you get the multi-cleave too, it's so much healing. We're going to swap back over to Reedsville and Concord, folks. This is just as important for Reedsville right now. They need to find a way into this, and with 2 falling early, it's feeling like we're not getting any 3-1s today, LaVon.
Yeah, it's going to be a first capture here over to Concord. Lady Yuki now playing the Lifeweaver too. So not just are we getting, you know, flexibility through the entirety of the day, but teams themselves going over and playing a ton of different looks.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it from Reedsville. They need to swap up something, right?
Yeah.
Going to the Reinhardt is a little bit tricky because, again, you know, we talked a little bit about it earlier. The Reinhardt versus the Ramatra, it's not a super clear matchup, especially for the Reinhardt. You got to get really aggressive. And instead, Ao Deshawn just slaps you away. I mean, beautiful work from Hero to soften up Shaken Turtle. Quirky Turtle trying to do something, but no, it doesn't quite happen.
Yeah, almost finds the Weaver, but instead Ao Deshawn, the cooldowns reset, and that will be the Nemesis form. Man, the Nemesis form has really been, you know, we talk about, you know, ultra or cooldown rotation with compositions that are based around the Bastion and the Ramatra, right? Their entire identity is tied into those 2 resources, and Concord have done a great job of making sure that those are up when they need them most.
Black Shaken Turtle is a madman. What are you doing pinning in that aggressive? You just fly into the back line to hold up the shield. No, it's not going to go very well. I mean, at least the contest comes through, right? So overtime is triggered. So there's that for Shaken Turtle. But unfortunately, it won't amount to any percentage. And it's the first point cap for Concord.
Got 2 more to go here. I will say that was the annihilation used by Ao Deshawn, so there is still Reedsville's opportunity. You know, they've got a war chest for themselves in this next flashpoint.
One of the advantages of the Reinhardt, too, is that Earth Shatter. It's hard for Ramatra to deal with it.
Yeah. Weirdly, though, the pathing is actually easier for Concord here, despite, you know, winning that last point. So Reedsville, they're forced to siege into a choke point. And again, this is where, you know, the Weaver can kind of really have a ton of, you know, success with the tree, keeping everyone alive.
Nice sound barrier. That keeps Reedsville in this fight. Shaken Turtle had taken a lot of damage and now trying to pin in further. There's that tree of life you were discussing, but it doesn't stop the insta-pick. Quirky Turtle going to town. Won't be able to do much more, though. Ao Deshawn chasing him down, and here comes yet another Nemesis form. Pin doesn't quite get what Shaken Turtle was looking for. The cap finally for Reedsville, though, and they're going to be able to hold on to this point for a moment.
Yeah, it's still, Concord actually forced Reedsville to, you know, overspend, I think, right there, right? They used the Shatter, used the Beat, they used the Deadeye as well. So that's not a great position to be in. That being said, I mean, Reedsville has successfully, you know, gotten some late staggers onto Concord, and we know Flashpoint, with how quickly the points move kind of in, you have to be very careful.
Excellent boop there by Lazy Turtle. I mean, Concord trying to make this happen without their healers. A very bold 3v4 to try and attempt here, Concord. And yeah, you will be subsequently punished. That Death Blossom being booped away by Lazy Turtle was maybe the most clutch play I've seen all day.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, perhaps round saving from the Lucio there. And actually, Concord's still hovering around the outskirts. By the way, Reedsville have made a switch. They're going over to Zarya instead of the Rhine. And I think this is actually a good pick. Zarya into Ramatra can be a very effective pickup. Can't ignore the punches like the Rhine can. And yeah, they just won't even touch.
Concord didn't get there. Reedsville will get a point on the board. Even a stagger pick onto Hero there, who really won't be back that quickly. So Reedsville, dare I say, in the driver's seat for the moment, for the first time really in this series, and they're going to use a sound barrier to catapult forward and try to get more of these staggers. I mean, there's no way Lady Yuki gets away from this. And that, I mean, ideally would be the next first point cap going over. I mean, it's right here, too. Surely you get Lady Yuki. Surely you get Lady Yuki. Yeah, okay, there we go. It took a second.
Just barely, though. And I mean, this is not ideal here. Yeah, Black Cat, again, just taken out.
There we go.
And this is Concord perhaps losing track of. This looks like shades of that first round on Busan all the way back when. So Reedsville back into things. It feels like the Zarya has really unleashed how they want to play. Right, they are playing a lot more together, and really it's opening up the DPS, especially from Reedsville, to make plays.
And Concord really aren't resetting here. They're still trickling in with 4 right now, despite the fact that Neon's still on their way back. I mean, no energy right now for Shaken Turtle, so not a huge threat. There's the bubble. Oh, my word. Do you have another bubble? No! Shaken Turtle falls. And now Hero coming in on the flank, and Annihilation used, shuts down the Deadeye, and Concord stabilized. They find their way back into not only this fight, but truly this map.
Yeah, celebratory artillery strike from Hero 985 there.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
Fireworks on the ground.
All right. I mean, Concord expensive. 3 ults used. Realistically, only 1 was needed. So we'll see how well they're able to turn around from this. I will also say Concord's conversion rate on sound barrier has not been very good. In fights where sound barrier is the only fight or only ult that they really have to work through, they've not been able to really close out from that.
I mean, Grav Captive Sun often can overpower that as well. There's the grab, there's the Captive Sun. A lift up to try and avoid the follow-up damage. I think it goes pretty well. Concord are still hanging into this and haven't even used the beat. Neon does die to the Bob, so 3v4, it doesn't feel super winnable with how low Shaken Turtle and Clever Turtle are. Nah, okay, Concord back in the thick of things now. And I think that makes it pretty likely for them to get a second point.
And I mean, if they get Clever Turtle here too, then that's going to be the second point, right? Because it's such a delayed pickup. Yeah, 15%, you won't even get a contest, and you will certainly not get a 5v5 on this objective. So 1 round away, Concord from closing this one out 3-0.
But Reedsville finding ways to fight back. Mirrored sound barriers here. There is a danger, of course, of that Death Blossom if Lazy Turtle gets caught early. It can be like habit to try and go for a sound barrier when you hear the Death Blossom go off, but if you're too close to it, that's a very easy way to lose it mid-animation.
Yeah, we're headed to Palace, or is it Garden for this one?
Seems like it'll be Gardens.
Yeah, all right, so up to the back line. Actually, Reedsville have better position too, right? And Quirky Turtle survives too that early aggression.
There's the sound barrier coming in from Reedsville. AO Deshawn just absorbing all of the damage. Black Cat Cough not so lucky.
I think it's all
Nemesis
for that.
form thrown in, and as the second hit expires, AO Deshawn is evaporated.
And a really, I think, a smart sound barrier from Lazy Turtle, and Concord just let Reedsville exist with that health pool advantage. And you know, I mean, such a cheap fight for Reedsville that they get that first percentage, and more critically, not only do they get first percentage, that was such an early capture on the point that they're, by the time this fight actually happens, we're going to be at the 50% mark, right? So Reedsville really only have to win one fight here to kind of tie up this map. And we'll see how well they're able to do that. That's going to be the big difference maker here.
Straight on in, Black Cat Cough not flinching, but not really getting much either. Yeah, that's a very readable Death Blossom there. The sound barrier to try and keep this 4v5 going, and an Annihilation to pair with it. Magic Turtle falls and makes things difficult. I mean, AO Deshawn is just trying to run around this fight right now, being escorted by healers, and one by one eliminate Reedsville. If you could get one more, it might be doable. Lady Yuki will help out for that one. Bob falls, Shaken Turtle so low, but another barrier. I mean, this ain't clear cut. 90 energy here and still one healer. Dosey doing with Shaken Turtle right now, but here come the reinforcements. And I mean, it's 99% for Reedsville, but they will have to win one more fight to try and extend this series.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that was Concord absolutely over-investing in that fight, right? They allow the sound barrier comes in a touch late, and that means that elimination is onto Black Cat Cough, so there's no Death Blossom. And now they also have ultimates in the respawn with that pickup onto Hero 985. So Reedsville, realistically, should win out this round.
And they have to, but not only this round, they still need one more to push us to a fourth map. Oh, and yo, Deshawn is just dead instantly. Reedsville, can they do this without using the Grav? If they don't use the Grav here and win the point, that gives them excellent odds for the future of Suravasa and for their hopes in this season of VESL.
Yeah, they won't. They will not use the Graviton Surge, and they have another sound barrier built up here from Lazy Turtle. They have a really strong percentage to actually keep themselves in that next fight, in that next point.
Oh no. And tragedy strikes at the worst time for Concord. A disconnect here. Oh, okay, we do get a pause. Excellent. All right, I like that.
Alrighty.
So we will have to see how this plays out. Oh man, the tension's killing me. What a cliffhanger here, LaFawn.
Yeah, what an incredible. I mean, the final hour just theatrics the whole way through, right? So, oh man, incredible stuff.
Yeah. I'm loving how Reedsville are playing this. I think the Zarya has been great for them. It's been a good, not necessarily like a hard answer to the Ramatra, but a good way to absorb the Ramatra a lot of the time.
Well, I think the reason why, so here's the thing, right? The reason the Zarya I think is more effective against the Ramatra than the Rhine is the Rhine, when he's defending, is just taking damage, right? And is not doing damage. But you can't defend against the Ramatra because your shield doesn't actually block anything. Whereas the Zarya, sure, you're still not blocking the damage to anybody else, but you're actually gaining benefit by absorbing the damage, you know, from those punches to charge yourself up. And the whole time you're doing that, you're actually dealing damage onto it too. I think that has just freed up the DPS to do a little bit more work for Reedsville. So the Zarya has given more flexibility to that sort of midline that they've been missing when the Reinhardt's in play. And I really do like the change over to the Zarya. It has made them more dynamic, which is something you really need to be when you're kind of dealing against a team that is a tempo rotation like Concord are playing.
Dynamic is the perfect word for it too, because not only do you have like that better head-to-head matchup, but also what AO Deshawn a lot of the time in this series has just sort of ran to the back line, right? Yeah. Has just sort of been like, ignore the enemy tank for now, and I'll just pummel all these supports. Can't really do that if a projected barrier comes on to help those supports get away and survive, or at least it makes it more difficult. You have to invest a lot more with the rest of your team as well, and that can make you potentially vulnerable to what would become a high charge Zarya.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it's not perfect, right? It's not like the Zarya is going to runaway success. It's still 2-2 here on Suravasa.
Still anybody's game as long as Neon gets back soon.
Yeah, still anybody's game. So I will highlight to that. But considering the fact that Kings Row was a blowout, right? Control was outside that one round effectively a blowout. This has just been more flexible overall. I think the pathway, if you're looking at Concord as kind of a reset, is that they oftentimes have been their own worst enemy, right? Going in 2v5, 3v5, using ults and lost fight, overusing ultimates. It feels like that extra checkpoint or the extra check mark that is used is unnecessary, and that I think is something that you kind of need, especially on Flashpoint, where if you come into a fight, if you use all your ults in one point and then you lose, you're going to lose the first fight on the next flashpoint because you have no resources to close out.
Yeah.
So, and with how quickly that happens, losing first control is often just the point ended for you entirely. So, yeah, I think that's something that's going to have to change from Concord here if they want to close this map out and take the series. Elsewise, hey, all of a sudden it becomes a real question. Now do you get into the mental game? Like, what does a team that's up 2-0 dropping a map that closely look like in map number 4?
And to update all of our fine folks at home, according to the format here, there is a certain allotted amount of time for a disconnected player to reconnect. So hopefully we get Neon back soon. Otherwise, we will be proceeding with the game regardless, and then possibly going to a fourth map and hopefully getting those players back into the lobby soon. So hopefully we get that. Currently, it seems, unfortunately, Neon is not yet returned.
That's going to be, I mean, just Reedsville taking advantage, right? Good sound barrier from Lazy Turtle, and make sure that they kind of close out the fight. Still no grav used as well. So this is going to be, I mean, realistically, you're going to force final fight just based off this grav alone. And I think Reedsville are looking to try and close this map out and take continue the series anyway.
Shaken Turtle has to be a little bit careful here. Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Can't die. That was the Graviton Surge. Hold on. Even 4v... Well, now it's 4v4 for Concord. They can take a second, try to heal themselves back up. They do lose Black Cat Cough, which isn't great. But AO Deshawn has much more usable presence on the objective, and now an Annihilation trying to pull this off. Even down a player in the lobby. Excellent res to AO Deshawn surviving, and Concord get a cap.
I mean, just the fact that they only use they only have the Annihilation to play through, and they get a very delayed pickup onto Clever Turtle. That is massive, actually, from Concord, because now they can delay this fight. This Graviton Surge, you realistically don't want to use it in this 4v4. And on top of that, Lady Yuki, if you could extend the fight, you know, the Valkyrie in the last moments, buy time for Black Cat Cough to get into the backline with the Death Blossom.
Whoa, Lazy Turtle. What were we doing there? Okay, solo grab onto AO Deshawn. A second player walks into it, but not quite the damage output that Reedsville were hoping for alongside such a pivotal ult. Now Quirky Turtle trying to go for a cheeky flank here, lining up onto Black Cat Cough. That's nice tracking, forces the Wraith form, but we'll be able to disengage. That Valkyrie doing work right now. 60% Black Cat Cough, that was maybe a bit too ambitious, and here comes the sound barrier. Reedsville have found the momentum they need to get this point back under their way.
I mean, still,
one more fight in Concord would win this 4v5, but they'll only get one more on the map.
They will only get one more. Now it's all about dodging forcing the bubbles out, dodging the Captive Sun, and then using the Death Blossom, right? That is kind of the setup here that you need to worry about if you're Concord. Or rather, that's the playthrough you're looking for if you're Concord. It's still, I mean, anybody's fight, amusingly enough to say, despite this being a 4v5, open up with the Artillery Strike. It forces everyone out of position, and Lazy Turtle is so weak.
Black Cat Cough doesn't get anything with the Death Blossom, though, and here comes a Captive Sun. Oh, Concord. Oh, was the Captive Sun shut down? No, okay, it still manages to land. So 3v5 Concord, they're hanging on by a thread. Shaken Turtle's real low, too, though. This is on a knife's edge right now. Bob is the extra player that I think Reedsville need. Overtime for them. AO, doesn't have a chance. AO Deshawn falls. Overtime whittles away. And Reedsville keep themselves in the series.
Yeah, barely though. There was a universe. If they had just dodged a second around a corner, avoiding the Bob, then the Annihilation to get on. Oh my word, that would have been such a pickup. Instead, that is not how it plays out. They chase down AO Deshawn. That is going to be the closeout. They'll get the play of the game, but they'll keep the series alive anyway. And we find ourselves heading to map 4 for the first time tonight.
And even regardless of the unfortunate disconnect, this was the map where Reedsville really turned things around, right? Even before that very last fight, they were in an excellent position to convert on the map. So this is still a well-earned fourth map that we are going to end up on, LaFawn.
No, for sure. I think there were clearly fights that were taken. I mean, we were talking about that with the Zarya, and all that commentary we had about the Zarya setup. That was when it was 5v5, right? That was in the even head-to-head. So all those points remain salient as we move into map number 4, and for the first time, get a look at what that looks like for us today.
Yeah, we get to go to push here. We're going to go to a quick break, folks. Hopefully square things and get everything all even Stevens for our map number 4. You're not going to want to miss it when we come back from break. Welcome back, folks. Good news for anyone who's maybe a fan of Concord. I'm hearing word that Neon's back. So for our map number 4, our first and only of the day, we get to have an actual 5v5 and actually have potentially a competitive map. I mean, before Neon disconnected, and even after Neon disconnected 4v5, it was a competitive round on Zuravasa.
Yeah, that's tough. You never want to think of what could have happened if someone didn't disconnect, right? But that's the nature of it, I suppose. And we move on from there. Remember, of course, what these teams are playing for, right? Getting an opportunity to get out of the bracket here means that you get to play in January on the regional land, right? So this is a very important a fight win, actually, or map win for Reedsville to keep themselves in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. Concord here in the red. Reedsville, ooh, interesting adaptation here by Concord. They're actually, AO Deshawn is over to the Doomfist. Pretty bloody first fight, it seems, but one that Concord are coming out on top of.
Yeah, I mean, Lady Yuki as well, doing a good job of keeping. I mean, Lady Yuki on the support has been just a menace in terms of staying alive. What a fast sound barrier from Lazy Turtle, though.
That's insane. That is under a minute charge on the sound barrier. That turns everything around for Reedsville. Oh my, they are trampling through this now.
Yeah, great start here. And I mean, this is where, actually, speaking of the Zarya, Shaken Turtle has played the Zarya against the Ramatra, and it was successful, but the one thing is that the Zarya was not really gaining energy. Here, that has been a big difference, right? Already, you know, at 80 charge and actually being a threat in fights could mean that Reedsville could actually run away with this, right? So keep an eye on that as we kind of go forward. Still up to 70% in terms of charge.
And you know, the Doomfist can be a little bit tricky to run into the Zarya. Oh, okay, I mean, if you smack her in the face, it could work out well, but no, it doesn't actually convert to the elimination. Good work from the back line of Concord to keep Shaken Turtle up. Now Coalescence out trying to turn the tide in favor of Reedsville. I mean, just annihilating people. This is DPS Moira if I've ever seen one. That was 4 kills. 4 final blows for Lady Yuki.
And I will actually say, that's not a DPS Moira. That was just a good play because she was healing, or the Moira rather was playing the whole time. They kept that one going on top of it all. So just straight up, a fantastic coalescence there from them. And Reedsville will have to be put on the back foot for now. That being said, Concord still has so much ground to cover. And they don't have a ton of resources. Bob coming in, Grav coming in. Reedsville should be able to close this one away.
Yeah, Reedsville certainly in a position to maintain their advantage. Oh, aggressive play, fading into the backline to try and pick up Magic Turtle, but Magic Turtle limping away for the moment. Graviton Surge committed elsewhere, by the way. Magic Turtle does eventually fall, and a sound barrier buffers the damage that would have come alongside that Grav. So things not so clear-cut in Reedsville. They can't really find this angle. I mean, now we've got a bit of a crossfire between Quirky Turtle and Clever Turtle, but no, the attack visor doesn't pick up squat.
And yeah, you don't want to invest the Bob when you're down 3, so...
I mean, that would be a nasty play if there was anyone there to follow it up.
Oh, no. And that's actually going to be the lead by Concord now, as they're going to get close to the checkpoint. I don't think they'll earn it without a fight.
Should be a recontest.
Yeah. Especially with the Bob, right? You can send the Bob in for that last moment contest.
Shaken
But
Turtle
still,
going
this is
over
progress
to
that
Orisa
Concord
as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love this swap, but I mean, there are ways for Shaken Turtle to really deal with AO Deshawn now. Here comes the sound barrier. That means that Concord can just, or Reedsville rather, can just leap forward. Shaken Turtle dies though, and the checkpoint does get capped. So even if Concord lose this fight, they're still feeling fine, and it's not even that clear cut. Bob in the back is hammering Concord, but they're surviving it pretty well thus far. Amp It Up Heal is more than good enough for the moment. And Reedsville, after a solid start, are struggling to get back into this.
And keep in mind, these are the forward spawns coming in for Concord because they got that checkpoint. So even though, you know, they lose Neon, I don't think this is going to be a foregone conclusion. No, Magic Turtle can't quite get back into it in time. And the elimination will go through as the support walks back to the fight.
That's not a bad ante, but there's nobody there to see it through to the end. Reedsville, okay, we need a full reset. There we go. That's what we needed for Reedsville. They got to stop staggering in. Concord's got a solid lead with just over 5 minutes left, but Reedsville are far from out of this.
I mean, they are very much installed in it. But I will say, this next fight, if they lose it, that's going to put like the 110 meter mark, I suppose, and that would be disastrous. So this is a must-win fight for them. Doable as well, as they have the Nano, Tactical Visor on top of it, and Lazy Turtle is built up to a 3rd sound barrier in this map.
you have to imagine Nano Visor is the name of the game, the changing tides for Reedsville. Ayo Deshawn not really finding much on these entries either. It's hard to go up this hill as Doomfist. There's a sound barrier. Reedsville, pretty ambitious to throw that one out so early. You don't really get much out of it. I think you needed to go forward a bit more aggressive. Okay. I mean, the Terra Surge into a Helix Rocket. Not even the Nano Visor to win that. That's cost effective for Reedsville.
It's cost effective, but that was the 100-meter mark, right? Or just shy of it anyway.
I mean, Ayo Deshawn here, can he find another pick? Lazy Turtle does fall. Still waiting on this Tac Visor to come out, but with Shaken Turtle so low, do you want to use it this fight? Ooh, maybe now. Yeah, okay, there's the Nano Visor finally getting involved in the action. 3, make it 4. Yep, 4 eventually. Reedsville, it's expensive, though.
It's expensive, and they lose players, so they're not going to be able to take a free fight here to try and get the checkpoint, which they desperately needed. And I mean, Concord, they're going to reset with a Coalescence, and we've seen how good Lady Yuki has been all game long.
Yeah, it was right here.
Coalescence has been fight winning for Lady Yuki, both of them that have been used so far.
I mean, Concord already back here, and Quirky Turtle falls so quickly. Even that ante is just not going to be enough. If I'm Concord, I'm going forward. I'm getting aggressive here and finishing off a lot of these stragglers. Although Ayo Deshawn falling makes this a little bit tricky. I think you still have enough damage as long as you keep Black Cat caught alive. Yeah, okay. Well done, Concord. Still a 50-meter lead.
And I mean, they're going to get staggered plays here. This is so tough for Reedsville. They get back, they're going to reset the checkpoint to be back in their favor, right? They're going to get the forward spawns again. And, of course, on top of it all, they didn't use any ults in that last one, in that last skirmish, I suppose. And so, yeah, everything Reedsville uses here will have a response by Concord. As they've made some changes, but I don't think the correct ones, or correction, they've used ones that need to generate a ton of resources to kind of find value.
And I mean, that Sound Barrier from Lazy Turtle didn't accomplish what Reedsville needed. Instead, Sound Barrier and Coalescence the other direction already pick up 2. Quirky Turtle would need to do something miraculous, but can't even find a target flying through the air. And Concord are barreling towards the end of the map with 2.5 minutes remaining.
And that was just both support ultimates used to kind of counter what Reedsville brought to bear. So this is going to be another artillery strike coming in.
I mean, Terra Surge does get 1. Still a bit of a squishy tank. No, okay. But I mean, this is still fine for Concord. You just really use the artillery strike to extend this fight, make it difficult for Shaken Turtle to step up. And Reedsville, they've only got Bob immediately available to win probably 3 fights in a row.
Oh, and I like this switch from Concord. I like it a lot. They're going for damage throughput here. Yes, you got them off the Zarya, so now you go back to the Ramatra, and all of a sudden, Reedsville have played into the hands of Concord. What a masterclass from them as Lady Yuki picks up another pick.
Lady Yuki is lethal.
MVP of this map.
What was Lady Yuki doing on Mercy this whole series? I am loving these more aggressive supports. I mean, the Moira, the Zen, this is disgusting damage being output here.
And Reedsville have to make a switch back to the Zarya because they know this is what works best against this composition, but it might be too little too late. Remember, no Graviton Surge, not going to be ready for the last fight. And on top of that, you have to build up energy from 0 once more.
I mean, a Riptire available. Reedsville, they have the tools to win at least 1 fight. Once that Nemesis form is gone, there's not too many good tools to deal with a Riptire. Should be expiring any moment now, and Bob at the forefront of the fight as well. Actually, Captive Sun and Bob instead is the combo that Reedsville opt to use, saving that get-out-of-jail-free card of the Riptire for a future fight, and they'll need it.
Well, the thing is, though, is that their final fight is going to happen in Concord's territory, which is not great because it means that the spawns will be closer, and Concord will have 2 resets, right? So it means that Reedsville actually have to win 3, maybe even 4 fights to take this map away.
Oh, nice leap there. Quirky Turtle recognizing Lady Yuki's positioning. They saw Lady Yuki leave the previous fight and are able to anticipate where they'll play from the next fight around. Good work there. I mean, Reedsville, that should be pretty close to the checkpoint. Oh, sneaky. Looking to explode someone in the back. Does have a Riptire if you can't find anything with a concussion mine or just the grenade launcher. At least some damage being thrown in, and it doesn't look like, no, Concord, they can't even contest the bot. Do get one pick, though, on Quirky Turtle. Oh, and another on Shaken Turtle. I mean, thankfully, the checkpoint was gotten, but are they even going to get back in time? Oh, Concord, the perfect time for them to find those picks, and now a sound barrier to ensure that there is no way to get rid of them. Just one left on the objective now, and Concord have managed to bring it on back. A 3-1, a well-fought series by Reedsville, but it's Concord who will move on.
Unbelievable stuff there at the end. It looked like it was going to fall apart for Concord in the final moments, right? The flank comes in for the Junkrat. It looked like an assassination was going to come through as well, but no, not to be in the final moments. A pickup from Lady Yuki, who was categorically the best player on this map. They'll get the highlight as well and find themselves the victor. 3-1 scoreline. They'll move forward in bracket play as we say farewell to Reedsville.
Look, Lady Yuki, what happened on Soravaso was Lady Yuki actually just absorbed Neon for a moment and took all the power and became 2 players in one there. That was an insane performance on both the Moira and the Zenyatta, getting some picks too. Phenomenal stuff. I mean, Ao Deshawn was a beast on the Ramatra all series long. Really fun way to end out the day here, LaFawn.
Yeah, I mean, what a showcase. Just overall, I mean, the other thing too is that we saw the highlights of today, right? What a fantastic game here in this map for every hero being played here on this stream. To have that, when is the last time you've been able to say that as being an option, right? So tremendous stuff there. Just fantastic performances by supports, by tanks, by DPS. Everyone really came forward and actually took the next step. And I'm really looking forward to where the rest of the bracket plays out in the upcoming games the next couple of days.
Sure, yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm super excited. I mean, the first 3 days of VESL have already been phenomenal, and tomorrow we get what should be our most competitive series yet. This is the day that will determine who moves on to their regional competitions, and I couldn't be more excited. I believe that does it here for today, though, folks. Thank you so much for joining myself and LaFawn. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at 6 p.m. Eastern, one more day of VESL Overwatch. You won't want to miss it.